I don't know. I don't know how long Grim Matchstick took for me and Clanky, which took longer, that or Taylor, me and you doing the final section of the game.
The final section of the game took us like 45 minutes.
Okay, Grim Matchstick took a lot longer. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
The whole experience was like 3 hours.
I have there's a personal fantasy I have of getting a big bag of fortune cookies and eating it during something that's supposed to be quiet.
Mick, when we said we wanted to go to the opera, I didn't expect you to bring all these fortune cookies.
One of my favorite Game Grumps bits is where like Dan's like, man, I really want to take a bite out of my apple, but it's one of the most conspicuous foods in existence. And Aaron's like, what do you mean? It's like, hey, Dan, are you eating an apple? What? An apple? That's ridiculous.
It immediately reminds me of the beginning of the Nickleys with the melodica thing.
Oh my god.
Oh, I forget. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. I was rewatching I was watching the Sweeps video where the Sims loses and Clanky gets on the harmonica and plays it.
Plays pipes.
Fucking tap.
He taps. That's what it is.
Play it flawlessly too, like not even a hint of error.
Well, I did play a part wrong, but you know, it's okay. It sounded right.
Well, you know what, to be honest, you would know better than me.
Alright.
Oh god, do we have to do this now? Wait, what's up?
I think we have to
do this now. Is that what you said?
Can we move this to some other
The
day?
Yearlies 1993, do we have to do this now?
Well,
I mean, we could, you know.
Well, I say we do have to do this now because. Hello and welcome to the Yearlies.
we could play cards.
Got any twos?
I've actually been watching AVGN episodes recently.
Oh, good.
Little known fact, that's 1993 is when the first AVGN episode came out.
That's incorrect.
That was before color movies. What are you talking about?
Wait a minute. Okay, we have very wide.
It's the AVGN for the Commodore 64.
That's like the most incorrect thing you've ever said.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that anyone's ever said that. Clanky's ever said. Clanky's usually
no.
Still no.
So close.
Well, Taylor, I know one thing that you'll even disagree with. That Four Swords Awakening isn't fun to play by yourself.
Four Swords Awakening isn't a game, so I agree with you.
Well, what am I talking about? Listen, I can't keep track of the Zelda games. They're all the fucking same to me.
How did you remember that?
I know it's not true at all. I'm literally just saying shit to make him upset.
For the record, there's a Zelda game we're going to talk about today that's different from the other Zelda games.
That's like if I said my favorite game is Alone in the Mad Dog McCrate.
Alone in the
Let's dance, reptile!
Don't be alone in the Mad Dog. It's illegal in most states.
So is being with guests in the Mad Dog.
Mad Dog be like, arf arf.
Who wants to go first with their honorable mentions?
I could go.
All right, Mick.
All right. So I'm not gonna waste too much time. I'm not gonna waste too much time. I've got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. You know, it's
peak.
Yeah,
it's
great game. Great game, but at the end of the day, it's just Puyo Puyo, and there's not much else about it.
It's
Sonic
also
Spinball.
so fucking hard, by the way.
Yeah. So then next up we got Sonic Spinball. Sonic Spinball is Sonic Spinball. It's fun. And that's about all I can say about it.
That first level, great first level. You just shouldn't play past the first level. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played past
sounds
the first
like a
level.
Sonic game.
I mean,
I'll kill you!
like, as soon as they take the pinball equivalent of safeties off, the game becomes unplayable. But like for that first level, where you can't fall into instant death and like you actually have a fun pinball adventure, it's fun.
I don't understand how Sonic controls that way. Like, then he's in the ball, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Like,
well, think about it this way. When you play a game like Super Monkey Ball, you're not controlling the monkey, you're controlling the board.
I don't have any problem with Sonic in ball form, but in those very brief moments where you have to run around as Sonic, I feel like it was made by aliens. It's really weird.
Have you played Knuckles Chaotix?
No, but I really want to.
You've kind of played it because of the SRB2K mode. Where
No, that doesn't even compare. It's a million times better.
It's 1993. SRB2K doesn't exist.
All right. Anyway, and then the honorable mention I wanna honorable mention. Alone in the Dark 2, also Alone in the Dark 2, also released as Alone in the Dark: Jack is Back. Now, an important thing to note about this game: there is no character named Jack in the first game.
But he is back.
Yeah, so just give you an idea of what wavelength this game is on. So the team that made this game has had no connection to the team that made the first game. They were developed simultaneously side by side with almost no conversation back and forth.
I'm sorry.
Taylor, do you think you could mute yourself because you sound like you're in the Himalayas?
I was gonna say it. I was gonna say it.
No. I'm preparing to switch over to my computer, so I brought my phone like right in front of my fan. So it probably like is it still there?
No, you're good.
No.
Okay,
I was like, I can't believe he made it there too.
Say hi to Wang Chuck.
His decaying corpse.
I like ran away from my bed as soon as you said that. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get out of here.
Watch out, the Himalayas is gonna get you.
Oh my god. I love that Gloria Estefan song.
Himalayas are gonna get you.
Himalayas are gonna get you.
Anyway. So, yeah, Alone in the Dark 2 was developed alongside Alone in the Dark 1, and the teams didn't communicate almost at all. As a result, the game is almost totally different. To give you a good idea of this game, so Alone in the Dark 1 gets compared to Resident Evil quite often. Alone in the Dark 2 is like if Resident Evil 1, if the next game in the series was Resident Evil 5.
It's like
Alone in the Dark 2 begins with a massive shootout where you have a Tommy gun and are fighting an army of zombies who also have guns and are firing back at you.
Jack is back.
This is the difference between the first Friday the 13th movie and Jason X, but they both released sequentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like these feel like two different games. Anyway,
I'm gonna ask you this without trying to like be critical of the first game because I think we did enough of that last week. Does it play better?
So here's the thing: the controls are almost identical, except now you're getting into firefights, and I want you to imagine whether you think that'll control better or worse.
Agony, even.
Yes, exactly.
Well, the thing is, if you say one is like Resident Evil 1 and one is like Resident Evil 5, I'm inclined to believe you, but then I remember that there's only a year in between these two games.
Yeah, I want you to imagine if everything about Resident Evil 5 was the same, except for the engine, and it was running on the Resident Evil 1 engine.
I mean, and people think Resident Evil 5 is already so fantastic.
It's better than 6. At least from what I know about 5.
Yeah, so Alone in the Dark 2 is not that crazy. Like, there's still puzzle-solving elements, but there's also way more combat than there should be.
Did you beat it?
No.
Okay.
That explains why it's not on here.
Well, also, it's just, it's not as... It didn't grab me the same way.
There's no second Indian, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's because you didn't try speedrunning it yet. Once
No,
you
not at all.
Get the itch.
Yeah. Well, no, I got the itch before I started speedrunning it. I started speedrunning because I had the itch. Anyway, this is more time than I think we should be spending on an honorable mention, so let's move on. I get to popcorn someone, right?
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Yep, alright. So, you know what? I think I'm gonna go for... Because I'm more trying to think of, like, who I want to hear talk about the game the most. So I think I'm gonna popcorn. I think I'm gonna popcorn Taylor because I want to hear about a few of the games in his honorable mentions.
I have an inkling of one that I'm interested.
Yeah, there's one I just want to know.
It's so interesting that you said that, Mick, because like I'm thinking, oh, he wants to hear about interesting people games, so there's no way he's gonna pick my name, and then you picked my name. I'm like, what? Because is it because of the one I mean, I guess there's one. Okay.
Everyone else's fun,
There's
quirky
like
games are on the bracket.
Well, all right. I mean,
There's just one in your mentions that just stands out to me.
The thing is, once
There's two that stand out to me.
I know which one you're talking about, and as soon as I explain it, you're like, oh well, that's not as exciting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
only so interesting.
well, all right. Well, so first of all, I like to just acknowledge a couple of games that have no relationship to things I've played or are on this bracket that I've been doing in the 90s. Just acknowledging Star Fox, because it was a pretty big deal at the time. I don't think it looks very fun, honestly. But I'm also just not a big Star Fox fan.
As a person who played a lot of Star Fox in the in my fucking in a hotel room at a ski resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh,
That's
Like this
64
one?
though.
Oh, I didn't know there was another Star Fox game. I thought Star Fox and Star Fox
Nick.
64 are the same game.
No, imagine Star Fox 64, but they didn't know how to make shapes fully yet. Well, no, that's not true. If it's only shapes.
Well,
That's
it's 7.
the whole game is just a series of polygons stacked on top of each other that
Shapes.
can do things.
Gotcha.
It's-
I see.
mean, it does not look fun to me personally.
Yeah, what the hell am I saying? The Nintendo 64 doesn't come out for another 30 years. Sorry, I'm just floored to learn that there is an I'm just floored to learn that there is an SNES Star Fox. I literally never heard of it.
There's 2 of them actually.
Yeah.
Hey, viewer, can you tell I'm not a Nintendo fan?
Really?
Nah.
Are you not?
What
I have
game
no
am I?
idea.
People
and
ask
then
me,
just-
hey Mick, what's your favorite Nintendo game? Red Steel 2.
Yes. It can all be traced back.
it's even funnier that I'm a Nintendo fan.
Mario is Missing also came out. Just want to acknowledge that because, like, I don't know, it was the first game you could play as Luigi, and like educational games weren't like a mainstream thing yet. And it's probably really fucking stupid, and I'm glad it's not on here. But like, the last acknowledgement I just want to make is the Disney Aladdin games for both SNES and Genesis, because this was like the era where Capcom made a bunch of Disney games that were like actually surprisingly really good, and I just think that's really neat because even many years later, they had a very difficult time making movie games, and I don't know. I guess we just had a bad era of them, but Disney's Aladdin seems cool. Anyways, actual games I've played that did not get on here. Secret of Mana is a co-op JRPG, action RPG, so Mick might not hate it. It's on Super Nintendo. I didn't play a lot of it.
Action RPG
It's
Yeah, it's an
strange for
for
sure.
the SNES.
Yeah, it's an action RPG for the SNES, and you
I
can
didn't
play
even know those existed.
I mean, a lot of stuff kind of, from what I could tell, you can't avoid a lot of stuff because, like, if an enemy uses an attack, a lot of them are like, the enemy is using this attack and you like can't dodge it, but like the actual combat is real time.
But I've actually heard a surprising amount about this game, mostly from people saying that it is heinously overrated. I don't think they're, well, whether they're right or wrong is a matter of opinion. It looks pretty good, I have to say. Not like a Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI kind of thing, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more, it represents a lot more because, like, this is the start of the Mana series, which is kind of not super popular here in the West, but we're slowly getting the games brought over here. I think Trials of Mana came out recently, and I would go back and try and finish this, I guess, because I really only did the tutorial, all things considered.
but what is the secret of Mana?
Well, what's the secret of Monkey Island?
Look, a 3-headed Mana.
And then
You got him.
picking up where we left off last time, the era of
Explain.
humongous entertainment. We dropped another 2 games, both of which I think are good, but not top tier humongous entertainment. Hence why they are honorable mentions. Putt Putt got his first sequel, where he visits his red card friend Mr. Firebird, who immediately puts him on a rocket that sends him to the moon, and he is stranded there, and meets the ship. His name is Rover because it's like the Mars rover, and they work together to get off the ship.
I hate how Putt-Putt looks in the early Putt-Putt games.
Me too.
He's really creepy. Speaking of creepy.
Okay, all right. Was it Fatty Bear's birthday surprise, Mick? I have a feeling it was Fatty Bear's birthday surprise.
Yeah.
So
But can I just say, I looked it up and I'm like, oh, hang on, I actually know Fatty Bear. I've never played a game, but I've seen him because I played other Humongous Entertainment games.
well, let me put it this way: there are on paper there should be 4 mainline Humongous Entertainment franchises. Fatty Bear is the franchise that didn't.
I can see why.
It got one chance. The idea is, what if Toy Story happened before Toy Story? And Fatty Bear is the bear of this girl Gretchen, and it's her birthday, and he comes to life and is like, I gotta do shit for Gretchen. And so you make a cake and you let a dog out of its birthday present because this family is a terrible family who put a dog in a present box with no air holes.
Oh my god.
And you let it out and it goes and it fucking attacks everything and you need to seal it back up and find letters for the happy birthday sign. And if you look through a telescope, you see Putt-Putt on the moon because these came around at the same time. It's like, God, I wonder what Putt-Putt's doing on the moon. And I couldn't figure out how to beat it for so many years because I didn't realize that laundry chutes were a thing. And you need to dive down a laundry chute to find the garage door opener so you can get a bag of sugar. And it took me years to figure it out.
I gotta say, when
Why
I
is
saw
every image of this bear cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed was not the first thing that came to my mind. For me, he just looks like he looks like a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic. And when you nominated this game, Taylor, my first thought was no, this isn't a game. This is one of those fucking this is one of those lost media creepypasta games that
It's
someone
an analog horror game.
Exactly. This is fucking Sonic.exe, but with a fucking bear.
It'd be funnier if it is, but really, it's just a very early Humongous Entertainment game, and it's not even great as a Humongous Entertainment game because it doesn't have the because it doesn't have the replay value of other Humongous Entertainment games. Like after this, we had every Humongous Entertainment game had multiple different puzzles that could spawn to achieving a solution, and all Fatty Bear figured out how to do was put letters in different spots of the house.
Fatty Bear's stupid.
I mean, to be fair, Putt-Putt to the Moon suffers from this as well, but I think it's a little more creative in its design, and this is B, who, shits on space all the time. So take that for how you will. I've talked about Fatty Bear for way too long, probably.
Yes.
I didn't think there'd be this controversy surrounding it because I'm like, it's a nothing game that I just have a lot of nostalgia for. So you think about it while I popcorn Christian.
Hell yes. Where are my entries? They're over here. Ninja Baseball Batman's on the bracket. Dr. Robotnik. No, hold on. I'm not saying that right. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is Puyo Puyo, like everyone said earlier. The most notable thing about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is that this is the 4th game that was on my Genesis plug and play. And I actually 100% agree with Taylor. This game is ridiculously hard. This game is so fucking hard.
One more thing I neglected to mention about this game. The enemy design is really creepy.
It's based off of the American The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, which is why we have Scratch and Grounder and the American Dr. Robotnik designs in there. As well as, I don't know, coconuts, and there's also oh god, there's a lot of fucking weird shit. The first guy you fight is just the guy with this disc with arms that he.
Yeah, his name is Arms.
I'm pretty sick of the cartoon characters trying to seduce me with their sexy eyes whenever they're about to drop 10 trash blocks on my side of the screen. So it's fine. Well, it's not fine. I actually quite like it. Mortal Kombat 2. I'm starting to realize, because I actually was thinking that I was going to include Mortal Kombat 2 in whatever year it came out, and then I realized it came out in this year, and I was like, welp. I think I just really like Mortal Kombat 9, and then I like the lore of the franchise. Because I never played Mortal Kombat 2, even though it looks really good and looks really cool. I just like the story and the characters. I don't really have much interest in playing it. I played Mortal Kombat 9. Do I need to?
Don't worry. We do have a fighting game on the bracket.
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
Oh baby. speaking of fighting games, Joy Mech Fight is technically, if I recall correctly, Nintendo's in-house first-party Nintendo's first attempt at a fighting game. If any of you know the assist trophy from Smash Brothers, Suck Upon, which is this.
Hang on, Christian. What did you say this was?
This is Nintendo's first attempt at a fighting game, I do believe, on their own merits.
Not true.
Which one?
You're gonna have to remind me of its name, but on the NES there was
Urban Champs.
Urban Champion, yeah.
This is Nintendo's second fighting game.
Whoa.
And it features Suck-a-Pon, and Suck-a-Pon's one of my favorite. I wanted Suck-a-Pon in Smash really, really badly, because I just thought it's a very endearing design. I'm sorry, I really just wanted one of you to ask what's Suck-a-Pon.
I think
Suck-a-Pon these nuts. Okay.
No.
I think isn't it pronounced? No,
Good one.
It's pronounced Suka-pon.
I thought it was Suika-pon, but then I realized that's a water.
Suika-game. Bomberman 93 is another Bomberman game.
93rd Bomberman game.
Yeah, it's the 90. No, it's named this way because Bomberman's 93 years old. He's geriatric. This is another Bomberman game for the TurboGrafx 16 and PC Engine. The PC Engine of which was a bombing console, which did not have much life left in it. But this is this is just a PC Engine Bomberman game. Actually very similar to the 1991 game, for better or worse. I find that the most interesting bit about this game is the soundtrack, which we'll get to a little bit when we get to the actual Bomberman game on this bracket. And this game would be way better if it didn't give you one power-up per level. Imagine going 7 fucking Bomberman levels without getting a single speed upgrade. Bomberman's pretty slow, guys. He's pretty slow. He's not a fast guy. Dinosaur Adventure 3D is on the bracket, and finally, Plock. Anyway, I get the popcorn, someone. Oh wait, no, I almost forgot. I also
No, you need to talk about Plock.
What are you fucking talking about?
I don't think he needs to talk about Plock.
I watched Game Grumps play Plock like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You have no anecdote about Plock. Okay, fair enough.
And then
yeah, what kind of person puts up a game after seeing a Game Grumps playthrough of it anyway?
And then also, I just wanted to talk about Yoshi one more time. Yoshi's a puzzle game that came out last year.
Didn't we? Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I thought it was just something he missed, but didn't we have a conversation about Yoshi already?
It's a puzzle game that came out last year.
No, last year we talked about the character Yoshi. This year we're talking about the game Yoshi.
I think I tried to talk about the game Yoshi, and like you guys gaslit me.
No, because Christian forgot about it last year, so now Christian is talking about it this year.
It's fine, probably. I don't care. It's funny. It has the best name ever. Clanky, go.
Have you played it?
No.
I have.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Clanky.
It's
Clanky.
Do you have something you want to say about Yoshi, Taylor? Before
I'm just like, it's such a fucking. It was 1992. I mean, what more do you want from a puzzle game? It worked.
Maybe it'd be called like Yoshi's Blank or something. I don't know, like something
it's
other
not
than
like-
Yoshi.
If it makes you feel any better, in Europe it was called Mario and Yoshi.
That's even weirder because it's not even Super Mario and Yoshi. It's like Mario and Wario, but that makes a little more sense because of the rhyming scheme. Mario and Yoshi, that's just weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
You just like swap enemies around and like match them, and like I think you can like close, like you can like have the top lid of an egg and then close it down on the bottom to like defeat everything in between. I don't know. It's been a while.
It was like to trap enemies or something. I don't even know.
I'm sure it won't be the last time we talk about it.
Right, you're right. Wait,
okay,
wow.
hang on.
Oh, we're done.
One last thing. I looked up what is the Japanese name of Yoshi, and it's called Yoshi's Egg.
See?
Oh.
They get it.
Looking that up, I also ran across this tidbit, this review of Yoshi. Yoshi is, quote...
What the hell?
I'm sorry. This time it was the sink. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sounded like someone was welding. What the?
I just play sound effects
Going
throughout like
down,
the entire night. You know, and, like they get progressively scarier.
Here's
So,
my
like,
review of Yoshi scrapes claws on a chalkboard.
At the end of the night, it's a
Somebody
man
say
asking me for
Yoshi?
help. Like, I have like a corpse in my corner. Like, please, I need help. Like, Taylor, what's that? It's nothing. It's the sink.
That's the fucking sound effect the Ring TV makes before Sonico comes out. What the fuck?
Anyway, yeah, so apparently there's one reviewer who's called Yoshi, and I quote, a surprisingly dull game. I love, there's a combination of the word surprisingly.
Surprisingly and dull.
You expect more from Yoshi. By the way,
played-
Clank.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't have really much to say. All I have is Super Mario All-Stars, and like, to be honest, I'm kind of happy it didn't make the bracket because
I'm
like,
overjoyed it didn't make the bracket.
I don't think it really counts.
yeah, well,
Well, it was up to Mick whether it made the bracket or not.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah, I
like,
wonder why Mick-
I would have argued on
don't-
technicality that it doesn't deserve to be on the bracket. If
agree.
Sonic
I
Mega
would-
Collection didn't deserve to be on the bracket, then neither does Super Mario All Stars.
No,
I mean,
would
the
agree.
Sonic
It
Mega
has-
Collection just gives you the games as they are. This does like remake them, but like I do understand it because like why would you want to play this game over the originals? You know, because like if you want to play Super Mario Brothers, you probably just want to play the original Super Mario Brothers. I understand that the remake is technically better or whatever, but like I don't know. That's not why you're playing those games. If I'm being real.
Well, I was also going to say, Clanky, they then took those versions and like put them all on Game Boy Advance with extra things.
Right,
So-
that's right. I did forget about that. I think I always forget about that because like the only ones they brought back were what, like 2 and 3, right?
Let's see. 1 was Super Mario 2. 2 was Mario World. 3 was Yoshi's Island, and 4 was Mario Brothers 3.
Sure. Okay, fair enough.
By the way, unrelated.
But yeah, anyway,
Oh,
this game's fucking whatever. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of happy.
It's got Birdo saying things.
Dude, this game is so whatever. Holy shit.
She didn't say it in this one. That didn't happen until like the Game Boy one.
Oh fuck! Wow! God damn it!
By the way, I finally saw the box art of Fatty Bear in the voice chat, and I gotta just tell you, Fatty Bear looks nothing like this.
He's
In the
creepy.
game.
He's really creepy.
He looks
He's
way
thinner
more
in the
like
game.
no, you know. It
Yeah.
says in the corner, it talks.
It.
It talks. Not he
I
talks,
really love-
it talks.
Be gone,
Do you-
creature.
Do you guys see the fucking bowling pin right above It Talks?
Yeah, I know. There's some great emote
This is-
potential there.
love
This
that
is
face.
nothing what the game is like. This seems to like imply that you're exploring a toy box. You're just exploring some suburban house.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All right. Well,
Lost media.
That's
More than
all I have to say
400
about
secret
that.
click points, bursting with fun.
The bowling ball
Anyway.
looks like a sandworm.
What?
I can't believe how much relevance you guys gave to Fatty Bear today.
You spell it? Yeah, exactly. Fatty Bear backwards is the name of an ancient demon.
Yeah.
all right. Well,
Gretchen.
I'm gonna popcorn Graham.
Rebutate.
Wow, thanks for choosing me.
You're welcome.
Really, the only honorable mention I had was Aladdin.
That's
Did
a
you play
movie.
it?
No, I thought the game was play it. I just know people like that game.
Well,
So-
well, there's 2 versions of it. There's the Super Nintendo version and the Genesis version, which both play very differently.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
nice
both
columns and
versions.
drums.
There you go. Equality, Graham, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Graham, why don't you pick a side for once?
No.
I got him to pick a side against me.
Oh, and also,
Is
when,
that
he
everybody for
when Fatty
Armament?
Bear talks, he's always whispering. Like,
Oh, dude, you can't just drop pivotal lore like that.
This-
Expect us not to react.
It just keeps getting scarier. I don't get it.
I just found another letter for the happy birthday sign.
This is a
What?
early 2010s creepypasta.
This is a horror game.
Who owns the rights to Fatty Bear?
Humongous Entertainment.
They don't exist anymore, I don't believe.
Probably not, but I don't think any of those IPs have just been sitting still for this entire time.
That's what I want to know. I want to acquire the rights to Fatty Bear and make an analog horror series about him.
You have to see, now you guys make me want to think about other creepy things that this game does.
The man in the Fatty Bear
Five
suit.
Nights at Fatty Bear's.
Mick, if you decide to go through with buying the rights for this, you have to name the company you put it under moderately large entertainment.
All right, so the rights are currently owned by Tomo, who you might recognize as the guys that made the, who rebooted the Bubsy series.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh god.
They've done nothing but make Bubsy games since 2015
Oof, Fatty Bear's dead forever.
But they made more than one?
Yeah, the Bubsy Twofer, Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, and Bubsy Paws on Fire.
That's crazy.
What could possibly
Pretty
go
up to date on his Bubsy lore because Mick bought the newest Bubsy just to see if he could refund it before the time limit.
Oh my god.
That's kind of based, I'm not gonna lie.
Platformer game be without platform.
Without further ado, we should go into the actual bracket, right? Unless there's any other honorable mentions.
I've got some more to do if you don't mind.
I'd like to talk about Yoshi.
No,
a
I think
more.
we're gonna go into the. I think we were gonna go into the thing. So we have first Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds. I'm not even gonna look. That is a Mick pick.
Did you look it up or did you guess?
No, I'm just taking a wild guess. That is a Mick pick.
Correct.
Woo!
Could have been a
Versus
grand
the closest thing to whatever that is, Goof Troop, which is my wild card pick. Who would like to go first?
Well, it's you or me. Do you want to go first?
You can go first if you want. I could go first. Whatever you want to do.
I'm letting you go first.
Yeah, I feel like in Jordan
Okay,
rounds,
then I will go first.
Jordan's
usually
I don't think
goes
Jordan's
up.
ever gone first, so...
No,
Well, I've gone first a bunch of times.
No, but like first in the bracket?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yes.
His wild card has
All
never
right.
been first.
No, I don't think it's been.
Even if it has wound up first, I don't think we've ever let him gone first.
you can't squander this
alright.
opportunity, Jordan.
All right, well, let's see if I will squander this opportunity because I still might.
You can do
My
it.
time starts now. Goof Troop is essentially a Zelda game.
Huh.
Well, you've
It
lost
is
the next
a
vote.
I can name a lot of things.
It is a Capcom game. Goof Troop is also one of the first games with a designer credit from Shinji Mikami, who would be one of the key figures in developing a later successful Capcom title, the Resident Evil games.
Holy
So
shit.
already there is more clout on this game, a simple Disney animated crossover video game, than you would possibly think. But it actually is a really good game because not only is it a pretty cool top-down puzzle type game, it is also really cool to play on co-op mode. No, not co-op mode. Two-player, because you can either play as Goofy or Max, or you can do two-player and play as Goofy and Max, and you have to solve these puzzles and move these obstacles and do these things together. You have these little grappling hooks and things. You have items that you can pick up and give you different abilities, and a lot of the fun of the two-player mode is like sort of seeing how you can solve these obstacles together and solve these puzzles with another person, but also just allowing, I'm trying to think of the right way of saying it, but like, you know, they only let you have one item at one time, and so it's like strategy of like, okay, I need to be the one that has the hook, you need to be the one that has this, and then you need the one to do this, and so there's a lot of strategy involved in doing a lot of the different things. It's actually, other than just being a cool puzzle game, it's a really fun action-adventure type where you have these cool boss battles where you throw things at Pete, and you have all these different locations other than just like fairly beachy thing. You have these underground caves. You have like, it's a very cool kind of game. I first saw this on a Game Grumps playthrough a while back in the John era, and it just seemed like it was a really fun time just in general. It's also one of those games that has like, and I know this one because this happened during the Game Grumps playthrough. If you kill your son, you insta-die.
Just like your
So
life.
don't kill your son.
Wait, I don't
Don't
think that
kill your
did that
son.
happen.
Yeah, it did, because
I think they
somebody
killed-
they
I think that they died at the same time through a bomb blast, but I don't think if Max dies, Goofy dies.
that's basically what happened. There was a bomb blast where Max died, and then it killed Goofy because.
No,
of
I think they
that.
were both in range of the bomb, is what happened.
No,
Grief.
I think that I'm right.
The grief is too strong.
I want you to be right.
So do I. Matter of fact, that's why I am right. So,
Viewers, tell us who is right.
Well, I'll be honest, Jordan. This is the most research you've done for any game, so I almost don't want to argue with you.
yeah, I wanted to make.
I didn't know that Shinji
That's
Mikami
because it
fact.
actually is a really fun game.
Like, as soon as Shinji Mikami came out of Jordan's mouth, I'm like, oh wow, he's taking this very seriously.
He did his research.
Absolutely.
Research is surprisingly
I figured
fun.
it would be a good way of going about it. But yeah, no, I like this game a lot, and I think that it's a very underrated sort of early SNES kind of puzzle game kind of thing, and deserves to be talked about more.
The block puzzles do look rad. I like
They
shit
are
like
very
that.
rad.
It's like I constantly say to Mick how much I like ice puzzles where you slip and slide, and this is like that but with blocks.
Yes! Who hurt you?
Ice puzzles.
Ice
I love
puzzles.
the
I've
slip
got
and slide.
somebody.
The gym leader. And yeah, as you said, Jordan, there's a pirate theme throughout the game that
Yes.
I think is consistent for what it's trying to do. My only real gripe is that the game looks a bit backtracky if you don't know the right way to go your first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there, but there's enough fun to go around in that one, and no, it's a nice little game, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to talk about it on one of these.
Goof troop.
Gorsh.
I'm up next.
Yes.
All right. So, Ultima Underworld 2: The Labyrinth of Worlds is the sequel to a game that was on my honorable mentions previously. Last year, the year before, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was last year. Ultima Underworld: The Stygian Abyss. So, if any of you are familiar with are only any of you familiar with the Ultima series?
I am.
No.
I just
Yeah, so-
recently saw 5 seconds of gameplay footage the other day.
Yeah,
I
so
did watch you play it for like 10 seconds.
I'm talking about the Ultima series more broadly, because the Underworld games are totally different. So Ultima is normally, it's sort of like an isometric top-down RPG. The Underworld games are not that. They are the first ever immersive Sims. If any of you,
Whoa.
yeah. So if any of you are familiar with the game, you're all familiar with the genre of immersive sim?
Cruelty Squad is an immersive
Yeah.
sin.
Are you talking about dungeon crawlers?
No. So immersive. So
This
this
is
game
a
is
dungeon crawler.
Yes, but it is the first game in the immersive sim genre. Immersive sims are games in which it combines elements from multiple different genres in order to create a sort of a very free-form type of gameplay. Give you an idea, like other games in this kind of genre are like Thief, Deus Ex, BioShock,
Cruelty Squad.
Cruelty Squad, like you said, yeah. The game is controlled from a first-person perspective, and it has full 3D movement, which is
Well, I don't think full 3D was a thing yet.
We'll
Yeah,
get to it.
yes, it is. You can look up and down and all around. It has polygonal things in it. Like, yeah, it does use some of the same
It's polygamy.
Like, it does use some of the same 2.5D stuff that Doom does, but it also has 3D models in it. To give you an idea of like what kind of game this is, in most games you pick up items by going near them and pressing a button. On Ultima Underworld, you have to move your cursor on the screen and manually pick up and drag items into your inventory.
Of course, Mick likes this game.
And it's got a physics system. You can throw objects and they'll bounce off walls and land in places. Here's the thing. The thing that this game does better than almost any other, the thing that makes immersive sims as a genre is the fact that it is incredibly non-linear and you're allowed to approach a problem from literally any perspective. Yeah, that's what the game looks like.
Tree!
You can tackle the problems from any angle you want. Like I'll give you an example that I think it really exemplifies this. So there's this bit where you need to get this gemstone from a character named Dorstag, and he's this sort of super strong warrior guy. Your approach, you could go and attack Dorstag and just kill him and take the gemstone from him, but then you'd have to fight his bodyguards. You could challenge him to a one-on-one duel in an arena, but then he would be able to choose which arena you go into, possibly giving him an advantage. You could also mock the scar in his face, and he'll get angry and challenge you to a duel, meaning that you can now choose the arena. Or, you could go down into the dungeons and befriend the troll Blog who gave him this scar, and get Blog to go and take the gemstone from him. So like it's that like there's so many different ways to approach literally any problem. It has the premise of the game is that you're trapped in a castle, and you're trapped in a castle that's been encased in stone. You need to try and escape by going through the sewers, and then eventually finding a portal to multiple different worlds where you find all these different things. It's an amazingly fun game. It is very much ahead of its time, and basically every single person who worked on it went left to go do very impressive things, working on games like Deus Ex, System Shock, Thief. It's written by the guy who would later go on to write the Dishonored storyline, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all in all, it's kind of hard to describe because there's just so many little sort of details to it that it's kind of hard to describe it more broadly. But yeah, this game for the time, no other game does as good a job capturing the feeling that this is a actual living, breathing world and not just a level. Like, for every goblin, you can find where they're getting their food from.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing.
Wow.
So yeah, I went over a little, so I'll call it there. But yeah,
That's all right. No, it's still early enough in the night where you can go a little over as a treat.
It's a treat.
Yeah.
Go with me.
So, polygamy or a widowed dad? The choice is yours.
wait, what?
What?
Where did polygamy come from?
There was something that you said something like poly something, and I thought you said polygamy.
Polygamy.
Yes.
I stumbled over my
That's
words
just
trying to
good.
say polygonal.
Yeah,
All
and I
polygons
started just
believe
joking
in
about
multiple
polygamy.
partners.
Goofy don't swing though. Okay, so
You have to decide a
voting
voting
order.
order, don't you?
I decided actually before, because I think I'm going like one more than the last time. Because oh god, I'm now not sure who started last time. Because I know it was either Graham or Taylor. I just forget which one.
It was both of them.
It was me.
Embrace
Okay,
tradition.
I figured.
Random.
I figured it was you, Taylor. Christian is going to go first. It's going to be Christian, Mick. Wait. Why is Christian in the middle? You were at the end a second ago.
I realized that
What?
I always go after Taylor, so I decided to change my numbers so I was somewhere else to spice things up a little bit.
All right, then. So it's going to be Christian, Graham, Taylor, Mick, and then Clanky. All right. Way to throw me off.
As Vinny would say, I like to throw a little spice in my life.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought Goof Troop was a mediocre 2D platformer. I am pleasantly surprised by what you've talked about, Jordan.
Oh,
unfortunately,
okay. Sorry, I thought that was your review of it.
unfortunately,
I thought it was a mediocre 2D.
Considering how much I've loved all of the immersive sims that I've played, Ultima Underworld 2 does seem like a bit of a jam. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna give it to that. But I think way more highly of Goof Troop than I used to.
Yay! Graham.
Jordan,
Don't
Yeah.
dare.
turn on your camera.
No, we're not doing this again.
I need to get this in this time.
I'm voting for Goof Troop.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I wasn't expecting that. Taylor.
With much love and respect to Door Stag, I'm voting for Goof Troop.
Gyorsh. Mick.
Ultima Underworld 2. Much like Christian, I suddenly have a lot more respect for Goof Troop because I also assumed that it was like a shitty tie-in platformer.
Yeah, I know,
No,
right?
it's actually really good.
Who was the guy
Yeah.
who associated everything as a 2D platformer and then had to pay the piper?
I think that was you, Taylor.
Yeah.
I think that was you.
I hate this group.
Oh, damn.
Which one's Pirate Steve? And we go to Clanky with the vote tied.
Okay, yeah, I think because of recent events that we will get into later on in this bracket, I'm intrigued by first-person shooters from this era. So I'm
It's
voting
not a
for Ultima.
first-person shooter.
Is it? Well, not a shooter, but it's a first-person game, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. That's sorry. Shooter was not the right word, but yeah, first-person game. So I'm voting for Ultima.
Right on. Okay.
Gorsh.
So we go on now to. We go on now. I'm not even going to be bitter.
Gosh,
We're going
fucking
now.
Damn it.
Yours. And that was a good pitch too. We go on now to Kirby's Adventure, which, and I made sure of it this time, is a Christian pick.
No, it was my pick. What?
What?
Sure thing, buddy.
Sorry, I just
Now I
needed
gotta check.
I needed to throw you off.
No, it's my pick. It's my pick. You don't have to worry about it.
Because last time it wasn't, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Bork.
Versus Ridge Racer, which is a Clanky
Ridge
pick.
Racer. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know what this game is.
I remember it. It's on the bracket.
Who would like to go first?
You can go first, Christian.
I was hoping Clanky would actually.
You know what?
Okay,
I
well-
think Clanky should go first.
Oh man. Well, guys, I hate to say it. Prepare to be a little disappointed.
Okay.
What are you talking about, Clanky?
Well, is the timer ready? Can I go?
It is go.
Okay. So, the disappointing news is that I unfortunately didn't get the chance to play Ridge Racer. But the reason
I
why
smell a victory.
the reason why I put it on the bracket is because I really just love these kinds of arcade racers, you know, things like Daytona, things like Cruisin' USA. I really like games like that, and like Ridge Racer is that. I believe it's first person. I know it's first person. I think in the PlayStation version you can make it third person, but either way, like racing games.
This is
are
the
just my
arcade
thing.
version, right?
Yeah, this is specifically the arcade version, but like the arcade and the PS1 version, I think are fundamentally the same. But I'm pretty sure in just the PS1 version you can switch it to a third-person view. But I could be wrong on that. You might be able to do that on the arcade version. But either way, like this game is a racing game, and I like racing games, and I don't know what else to say really. So if anyone else has anything to say about Ridge Racer, then that would be fantastic.
Ridge Racer. I found this
Kirby.
arcade cabinet online that has a wheel.
As a lot of
Right.
classic
Yeah.
racing games do.
I was gonna say,
And,
most all arcade racers have wheels.
And then I saw one that had like a triple monitor setup.
Yeah.
And then I saw this one with just a happy guy getting to play Ridge Racer.
That was Clanky.
Say that was me.
if Ridge Racer has one fan, it's Clanky.
And then
Yeah.
here's just
And
a picture of a car.
And yeah, there are cars in Ridge Racer, dude. Do you see?
This is
Hey,
getting,
new car!
this
Anyway,
is getting better by the second.
I'm very excited to eventually play Ridge Racer.
I could share more Fatty Bear facts.
Well, is he in Ridge Racer?
There.
No, but I just remembered that there's an animatronic
Taylor,
rabbit
Taylor,
named
I
named
want you
Matilda Rabbit.
I want you to try that again. Is he in Ridge Racer?
Yes, he's in Ridge Racer, and
Oh,
he
dude,
he
then-
drives the car.
Okay.
Well, how am I supposed to follow that up?
Well,
Kirby's
Give it your best shot.
Kirby's Adventure is an NES platform by HAL Laboratories, the second game in the popular Kirby franchise.
Can you not open with lies?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I really should, Kirby's Adventure is a first-person shooter developed by Bungie. Came out in around 2006. It's directed by
See, he
Masahiro.
didn't need to think about it because that was the true answer.
It's directed by Masahiro Sakurai as his second directorial project, and this was originally when the project was when they wanted to first make this, they were first thinking, let's just port the original Dreamland to the NES. But Sakurai was like, no, the NES, the NES is for big boys. The Game Boy is for babies, but the NES, this one's for big boys. And that's why
Christian.
Sakurai introduced the copy abilities. He wanted to make this game more advanced so that after you beat Kirby's Dream Land and become a gamer god, you'll be able to move on to this game. And the copy abilities introduced a lot of this sort of like replayability to the game. I'm don't know if I fully use it as a lot of replayability, but it is the part of Kirby that I really enjoy because you can basically pick up powers and drop powers and pick up powers and find your favorite ones and then never let them go. This is a 1993 NES game. This is 1 year before the release of Wario's Woods, which I believe is the actual last NES game, at least the one that was commercially sold.
Not in the U.S.
I see, okay.
I believe in the
Finland,
U.S. a
perhaps.
Bible game was the last game.
No, Super Noah's Ark 3D. I swear it's gotta be that.
I think that's a Super Nintendo game.
No, I don't know. You know what? Whatever. Doesn't matter. The graphical fidelity in this game is fucking amazing. This game looks incredible. There's a lot of moving backgrounds, parallax scrolling, sprites are incredibly detailed. There's so many cool animations in the game, and honestly, if you put this side by side with Super Mario Brothers, you might be fooled into thinking they were on two different consoles.
I have the answer for the last ever released NES game.
Okay.
That's Disney's The Lion King, released on the NES in
Oh.
Europe on May 25th, 1995.
So this
Wow.
is 2 years before the last NES game. Anyway, I like Kirby's Adventure a lot because this game has a very fast pace to it. This game's levels are very much sort of like encouraging you to go super duper speedy through the levels because they have this sort of like very linear design. You can just sort of, this game will allow you to just sort of like run over if you want. You can just hop over and beat the hell out of an enemy.
I don't think you can go that fast because I think Kirby is a relatively slow character.
It's faster than you would think. He can go at high speeds. And the areas are also, the level design is also constricted not only to sort of like funnel you into this linear, speedy platforming, but also because Sakurai didn't want you to fly over everything, which is also why the entire bottom third of the screen is dedicated to your health and copyability information. Sakurai was like, I gotta put this here so the levels, so you can't just fucking fly over everything. Less screen space, fuck you. And there's also one of the
That's an
only...
insane gameplay decision.
I know. It was one of the only Kirby games, at least of this particular era, to not have collectibles that are required to activate extra content. There are buttons that you can find throughout certain levels that are hidden, but these buttons are only here to unlock mini-games. Well, Christian, what are these mini-games? Mini-games?
Before
what are you
you-
talking about?
Can I just say, I think that the secret hunting is bad in this game.
Well, thankfully, you don't have to do it because it unlocks nothing except for mini games that you can already play on your without secret hunting. Speaking of which, this game is a hub world, and I don't think there's too much special about the level progression in the hub world. It's cute, I'll give it that, but it's made much better by the optional features. There are rooms where you can just like obtain 1 or 2 copy abilities for absolutely free, and the mini games I mentioned earlier are really fun. Use these to get extra lives. There's a crane game that's really easy, probably the most underwhelming of the 3, but there's this game where DDD just assaults you with an airstrike of bombs and eggs, and you have to try and eat all the eggs and don't swallow any bombs or you die. It's really hard to perfect that one. And then there's a Wild West game where you have to press the button faster than the enemy on the other side, and I never won it. It's really hard. You can also
I feel like that game showed up a lot in other Kirby games too, or like a version of that game, right?
Definitely, because Superstar brought back the Samurai game, and it's basically the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a really good Kirby game. The graphics and music, as I said, the music is astounding. And one last thing I want to say: does anyone care about spoilers for Kirby's Adventure? I find it really funny that a lot of people believe King Dedede is the main antagonist of the Kirby franchise because it took until the second game for him to be removed from the antagonist spot. The game starts off by saying, "Oh, King Dedede broke the Star Rod and he's swimming in the Fountain of Dreams." And you're like, "What an asshole!"
Speaking of bounds.
Yeah, let's go fucking kill him. And then you fucking kill Dedede, and you go put together the Star Rod. Turns out there's this fucking nightmare wizard inside of the Star Rod who's gonna drop Dreamland into a torturous darkness. And so you have to go kill Nightmare and blow up the moon. And the game is so desperate to make you realize that DDD isn't the villain that half of the credits is just saying, DDD's a good guy. He didn't mean any harm. He's cool. DDD's a cool guy.
Meta Knight is also here.
Oh, yes, the introduction of Meta Knight. He acts in a very confusing manner. I believe he is testing you to see if you're strong enough to fight the Nightmare Wizard. It's not very clear. And yeah, this game also had a remake. We're not talking about the remake, and it should not count in the votes here, but from
Is that
what
true?
I've seen,
Nightmare in Dreamland does not count?
it does not count for the. I am not counting Nightmare in Dreamland for this
Because
vote.
I don't think okay.
That is a 2002 Game Boy Advance game going up against the
Like
game.
it doesn't in the same way that when we talk about a Final Fantasy game, we're talking about the enhanced versions. We're not talking about Nightmare in Dreamland as an enhanced version.
I mean, I guess you can vote however you want. I'm voting based on the NES game.
Christian, I'm a big Ridge Racer fan. Okay.
Let's go.
Vote however you want. Kirby's Adventure is great. It's especially great for an NES game. I think this is one of the few great NES games. Sorry, that took a little bit. My bad. Let's vote.
Vote however you want. All right, that could be the deciding words if you're Christian. Christian, it is your vote.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really weird because out of the classic era, the following Kirby games are ones that I'm not particularly fond of. I don't hate Dreamland 2 and 3. I haven't even played Dreamland 2. I don't hate Dreamland 3 either, but
I don't
going
think
up
you
against
play any of the Dreamlands.
going up against Kirby's Adventure is tough because Kirby's Adventure is really good at not slowing you down with useless bullshit. And as such, I really like this game, and I'm going to vote for it.
Cool. Graham.
I'm gonna vote for Kirby's Adventure.
Taylor.
You know, I almost was gonna vote for Ridge Racer as a joke, but the thing is, I know Mick, and Clanky is his game, so I think I have to vote for Kirby's
What do you mean
Adventure.
you know me?
Let me ask you something, Mick. Are you gonna vote for Kirby's Adventure?
I don't know. I literally, I don't really have a foot. I don't really have a horse in either race. I think I'm gonna give my vote to whatever's losing.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
well,
what-
it's
I
three
mean-
votes to Kirby's
Well,
Adventure.
Congratulations, Ridge Racer.
Come back to me.
Wait, Ridge Racer already lost.
He's got to think about it, okay? Ridge Racer is really good.
It is. I would love to play it
Clanky.
someday.
It probably is.
I'm voting for Ridge Racer because racing game.
Yeah, no, I think
Back
I'll give it
to
to Ridge
you, Mick.
Racer.
That was a good, well thought out decision, Mick.
It was, yeah. All right.
Oh
So,
my god.
Let's see here. Round 3. It's Clayfighter, which Clanky put up, versus 3D Dinosaur Adventure, which is undoubtedly a Graham pick.
Oh,
I go
So,
right.
and Jordan, can I just say I'm so proud of you because these two clowns have been calling it Dinosaur Adventure 3D for years. And you're the only one who got the name right.
Can I go? Can I go
Let's
first? Jordan?
Yes, and I want to just say before I let you go, Graham, it's because I believe Christian gave the bracket a once over.
yeah,
and
I
gave
was
it
an
the
asshole
right
again.
title.
I was an asshole again and changed fucking names.
So blame Christian, not me. But yes, Graham,
So,
you can go first in 3, 2, 1, go.
okay, so Dinosaur Adventure 3D is a game where you go around collecting dinosaur eggs. It's like an edutainment game that you're like learning about dinosaurs. I would play it a lot in elementary school, but I could never beat it because I literally not enough time in the day because you'd only have like a certain amount of time in recess for computer time, and then they would like always like wipe the computers after every day, so you'd have to start from scratch.
I did not know that that's how you played it.
Yeah, that is how I play. I've never beaten this game. And then the reason I am here, the reason me and Christian are friends is because of Dinosaur Adventure 3D, because we both were like trying to remember what it was called. And then I think we were in like the basement.
We were watching like a best of Grumps,
yes.
and
Yeah.
like
Yes, this was the first time Christian and I hung out with Graham outside of club because we
Yeah.
had brought him just to watch Grumps, and then somehow we ended up here.
I remembered Taylor's name.
Yeah, that's true. When Graham Graham didn't know my name for several months.
Yeah.
There's actually a picture of us finding this game too. It's actually crazy.
Guys,
Uh-huh.
I need to
And
ask.
then, well, hold on, Nick. Before you say anything, Christian, and there's just like one more detail I have to tell you about this game, Christian.
Yeah.
This isn't Dinosaur Adventure 3D. This is 3D Dinosaur Adventure. It's a completely different game from what we played that day.
That is exactly what I was
What?
going to ask because
Are you
I was like,
fucking
yeah.
kidding
hang on,
me,
guys.
Graham? Are you
No.
fucking kidding me, Graham?
I'm not kidding.
Are you fucking kidding me, Graham?
Wait.
Yeah.
So what year
Dinosaur
did that
Adventure
game come out?
3D and 3D Dinosaur Adventure are two different games.
No.
Are
Yeah,
you
this-
fucking
Yeah, this
No!
game is like this game is like a storybook. It's literally just like a digital book about dinosaurs.
Dinosaur Adventure 3D is a 1999 game.
Hypothetically, if we were going to be talking about a game that me and Graham hadn't played before, it would be sort of like this first-person museum walkthrough game where
So-
you have to save dinosaurs.
So
So
is that the
wait,
right
Comet,
one that's in
or-
there?
Yes, it is the right one that's in there.
Christian,
It's
is
the
that
right
the
one.
right one?
But nobody has played it or even
Me and Graham
cares
have
about
never
it.
played this game.
No.
So
Yeah.
I can talk about it.
I did watch a long play as well, so I can also talk about it.
Of 3D Dinosaur Adventure.
3D Dinosaur Adventure was made by the same people who made Dinosaur Adventure
What?
3D.
Graham, once
Yeah.
again, your lack of years has screwed us all.
You know, the first person section reminds me of Doom a little bit.
Yeah, no, there's a Doom clone in this game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You have to
The
guess.
final for this bracket is definitely going to be 3D Dinosaur Adventure versus Ridge Racer. I'm calling it right now.
You have to guess what dinosaur a dinosaur is by an incredibly zoomed in picture of said dinosaur. The 3D in this game, in the title, the titular 3D, is almost as good as the 3D in Joseph King of Dreams. Almost as good. Graham, how could you?
Graham, we can't. Do we need to hire you a babysitter?
Taylor, let me ask you this. Wasn't that
Go ahead,
funny?
say something mean about me.
Wasn't
Go
that funny?
do it.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, wasn't that funny?
Yes.
Ask me that in the final round.
Final round, which will be 3D Dinosaur Adventure versus
The only
Doom.
thing I know in my heart is how to entertain.
Clanky, next you're gonna tell me you didn't play Clayfighter.
No, he played
No.
Clayfighter.
No, he played Clayfighter.
Clayfighter.
He played Clayfighter.
So, may I begin
Of
about
course.
Clayfighter?
You may.
Yeah.
So, this is a game that fascinates me. All right, so let me explain. Clayfighter is a fighting game. It is a fighting game that uses a very similar thing that Mortal Kombat did with how it got its sprites, where it captured real people, doing the moves and everything. Clayfighter does something similar, but instead of getting real people, it has clay models that it basically claymations the models. They compress it into sprites and then game.
Also, kind of like the Donkey Kong, like the rare Donkey Kong 64 game.
Yeah.
This game was made by Visual Concepts and Interplay.
Oh,
So
shit.
Visual Concepts does the NBA, 2K, WWE fucking games or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
And Interplay did they're the creators of the Fallout series, and they published Baldur's Gate, the original Baldur's Gates too.
Yeah.
And they made this game, funnily enough, as a parody of fighting games. So this game was kind of hot on the it came out during the time that most fighting games were becoming popular, like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat and all that. That's Bonker. Yeah, that's what he looks like in the game.
It's Bonker.
Oh,
Yeah, Interplay had a whole. Here's the thing: Interplay had a whole series of claymation games.
That's what that leads perfectly into the next thing I wanted to talk about. This thing, the roster for this game is fucking insane, dude. So you have Bad Mr. Frosty, who is an evil snowman. You have Bonker the clown. You have a
course.
giant piece of taffy named Taffy. You have a giant muscle man named Tiny. You have an a stereotypical opera singer named Helga, and you have my main that was a blob named the Blob, and he was a blob of clay. And the whole purpose of this game is that all of them are fighting kind of as a parody of Street Fighter, I think, or Mortal Kombat, how they have to be king or the winners of the contest. Everyone in this game is fighting to be the king of the circus. They're all mutated carnies that got hit by an asteroid that mutated them to be part clay.
May I
And
ask
that's
a
where all
question?
these
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Did
go.
you list Earthworm Jim as one of the characters in this game?
Well, Earthworm Jim is not in this game. He'll show up in another Clayfighter game that we'll get to in the future.
Oh, that's what this GIF is. Okay. Continue.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
No, it's all good because oh yeah. So then I have to get into like the actual like gameplay of this, right?
Oh, you haven't gotten there yet.
It's like you know,
Yeah.
it's like a fucking whatever fighting game. Like the characters have like 3 or 4 fucking moves, and like basically you just want to spam the one good move that they have. And the story mode, to be quite honest with you, isn't even really fun to play because for whatever reason, every character's moves are like super fucking buffed. So I was playing this game and I got like kind of far like in the like story mode, and then like this one Taffy fucking used like one of his stupid fucking moves, and it like he hit me, he like punched me twice and then hit me with like a spinning attack, and I had a pixel of health left, and that's all he did to me. It was fucking so anyway.
Incidentally, Clanky, I think you missed some of the characters because
I did miss some of the characters. You're right.
There's also Blue Suede Goo.
Blue Suede Goo,
Good.
right? Fucking
Who's
oh,
the-
this guy.
Yeah,
And then
there's
what was his name? Fucking
Ichabod Clay.
Ichabod Clay.
Oh my god.
Ichabod Clay.
I like
He's like
that.
he has like a pumpkin head and he's like a ghost fellow. He's great. I
Oh my!
love him.
They have Jack Frost and Pyro Jack in this game. That's crazy.
Kehoe.
And then there's also N Boss.
Oh yeah, M Boss, who's supposed to be a parody of M Bison. He's not playable
Oh,
in
cool.
the game. He's like the final like person you fight in the story mode, like M Bison.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
wax
giant
figure.
string of pearls.
He's a
and
wax
his
figure
eyes-
of Raul Julia.
Pardon this, but he has like one fuck me eye too.
Hell yeah!
Anyway, so
Wow, what a
that's
game.
Clayfighter. A game that I appreciate a lot more than I like playing, if I'm being quite honest.
That's fair. It's perfectly fine. Okay. We go to the vote.
I'm not,
Yes.
By the way, I'm not sure if this is only true. I'm not sure if this is true of the original Clayfighter, but I know some of the later Clayfighter games were like Blockbuster video exclusives.
That
Yeah, I was
was
just reading that up.
hell?
Sequels
we're gonna
were.
get to it. We're gonna get to it. I promise.
Okay.
Okay. No, I had to look it up because I didn't know if it was like a. It looks like the same designs of a prominent claymation studio from that era, but it wasn't. All right, Christian, we start with you.
Well, considering that
Oh my god.
there is a wolf in sheep's clothing here,
Oh my god.
I think I'm gonna give it to Clayfighter.
Yeah. Good call. Graham.
3D Dinosaur Adventure.
Oh my god.
At least he commits.
Yeah, sure.
At least he
There.
commits.
Fucking Graham, man. I vote for Clayfighter.
Mick
Clayfighter.
and Clanky.
Clayfighter.
Clank
Yeah.
Fighter.
Okay.
Clayfighter sweep.
Clayfighter.
Let's go.
All right. Round 4. This is one that a lot of you seem to be really excited about.
No, I mean I am, but Christian meant to be excited about round 3.
Yeah, I
He got
confused
rounds
round
mixed
3 and
up.
4.
Oh.
And this is also
okay.
back when
In
I
that
thought
case-
I knew a man.
In that case, in that case, fuck this one. It's the 7th guest, which is a Graham pick, but is it the game that Graham was intending on talking about? Versus Gunstar Heroes, a game that Taylor put
Gunstar.
up. Who would like to go first?
Gunstar Heroes. Keep
I
it
could
there.
let Graham go first, but I wouldn't. I no longer trust that the 7th guest came out in 1993.
It's actually the 6th guest.
It did. It came out in 1993. I can back him up on that one.
Let's see. Are there any other rounds that I really want to go first? And I don't care. Graham, do you care if I go first or not?
No.
All right. Gunstar Heroes is
Go.
like Contra, but with less of a focus on the levels and more of a focus on the bosses. So, you pick a starting weapon and you pick a style of combat, which is to say, when you shoot your gun, you can either stay locked in place or you can shoot while moving. And you should probably pick the one where you stay still, because shooting while moving is a little trickier. So like I said, you pick a starting weapon, and that weapon stays with you for the game. And then, like Kirby 64, you can pick a second weapon that kind of combines with your weapon for lots of different weapon variations. So you have So I pick a chaser gun which homes in on enemies, and so if you stack that with the electricity power up, it becomes becomes this electric homing shot where you just fire it and you hold the button down, and as long as you hold the button down and don't take damage, you melt a boss's health, which feels really, really good. Or you can just pick 2 chasers and have a stronger chaser. Or you could not pick the chaser because some people don't want to have a good time. But that's neither here nor there. The sprite work is really, really good. All the bosses are named after colors. So you'll fight pink, and you'll fight orange, and you'll fight black. And black is fun because he has a casino, or not a casino. He has like a gambling board game. I was playing this with Christian because this game is co-op, and he's like, man, they really. Cuphead really pulled from this game.
Definitely, because Black Stage is in my opinion, a better version of the King Dice stage in Cuphead.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. And a lot of the weapons like have similar characteristics of like Cuphead weapons. Like I think the Chaser just naturally does a little less damage, which is what the homing shot in Cuphead does. So it was really interesting to kind of see the influences that were brought from that. Despite being a retro game, this game has unlimited continues, so the game plays fair. You're going to beat it if you stick with it. I do admit that, to Christian's point, again, I co-opted this with Christian, he took note that the level design itself is not the most interesting, and I'm inclined to agree now that I've played it because I mean, I will say that you will spend most of your time in this game on the boss fights, which I think are really, really good. But the lead-ups to those boss fights are kind of just a lot of going from left to right without any real platforming being done. Like you can sometimes jump on higher elevation to have like little degree of variety as you're shooting down the enemies, but this is not what I would call a 2D I mean, I think it's supposed to be a 2D platformer, but it's not because it doesn't. It forgets to be it forgets the platform. The 2D platformer forgot the platform. But there's a level where you get to ride gravity carts the whole time, and I think that's really cool. And if you play on a higher difficulty, there's this one boss that every higher difficulty, the boss will add another phase to his attack. So there's this one boss, and its phases can be varied. So when Christian and I played, we took note of the phases, which were
not
easier.
The snake, not the snake.
He kept going, gun, please, gun, give us gun.
And then we were like, when the last phase was dog, I was like, it's dog, we can do dog.
Because you don't want crab.
You don't want crab. You can never handle crab. Bird is manageable. Okay. Bird is manageable. Yeah.
Bird is manageable.
May I say that fight against Green is actually, upon further thinking about it, one of my it might be in my top 50 favorite boss fights. That shit is the best.
I'm so glad to hear you say it.
On the other hand, I have to say, Taylor, you already brought up the thing with the level, so I'll leave that be. But I also have to say, unfortunately, this game needed to know when to end. I felt it. It is one of those things where they put you to a final level, and then they have you fight a boss, and then they put you into a shmup space level where you fly a spaceship, and then you fight another boss and think the game ends there, but then you have the hardest boss gauntlet in the game, and then you fight another final boss. My thought process is, if they cut out the final level, and they cut out the boss after the spaceship level, it would be paced much better. But as it currently stands, the end game, it just feels like it just goes on and on and on. And it's almost...
I watched them play for a bit. I actually thought that the last level was the entire game.
Yeah.
Well, the last level is hard, and I actually don't like boss rushes in concept because I find them too endurancey. But all the bosses are new bosses, which I think plays it out fine. And there is a checkpoint before the final boss, so once you finish it, it's not as though once you fail this new final challenge, you have to start all over, which I would fucking despise. Yeah. But like, I do understand it. Hey.
But yeah, no, might I say I had a lot of fun with Gunstar Heroes, and yeah, Green is such a good boss fight. It's the number one thing I think about when I think back to this game.
Yeah. And when you and also when you play the Game Boy Advance sequel, there's a little bit of voice acting, and all of the bosses have like fun voice lines. So when you fight Black, he goes, "Dare to bet on Black."
He also has really long legs that he uses to extend towards you and kick you.
Not Black.
Yeah, no, he's the one who does that.
What?
Am I thinking of well, whatever. We'll check the footage later.
Grandma's country that took about Sheringish.
He's doing it.
No.
He's
I-
doing
no.
it.
Wait, hold on. Is that the bit for
No. Okay,
this
guys.
episode?
No, listen to me. Hans Moleman, like, it irritates Taylor. Fine. If you do an audio bit with like just if you do an annoying voice for hours, I'm not gonna want to listen back to this.
We're not going to do it for hours. We're just going to do it intermittently.
Minutes. For minutes.
Time to put the Syndicate in putty.
Please, just please be mindful. Please, it's gonna drive me nuts.
All right.
Please.
Put the driving toilets in the butt.
No, I already hate this.
And then you put the poppity corn in the really.
In your face, a puppet 3.
The chef.
Ma'am, tell me what the 7th guest is, please.
Snoop-dee, snoop-dee, snoo.
Sure, the seventh case,
Stop.
Guys, did you guys know that I met the Swedish chef?
Yeah.
Was this before or after you were on Jimmy Fallon?
This is what got me on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, okay.
Hell
Yeah, this was when you were hanging out with Statler and Waldorf, right?
Oh no,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
it's 8.
Oh, hang on.
I
No,
guess
it's
he had
7.
to-
The 7th
No,
guest.
no. Taylor, in about 5 seconds it will be 8, okay?
It's
get
not
on.
Now it's 8.
It's not 8. It's 7. As in the 7th guest, Graham.
So, the seventh guest is an interactive CD-ROM game where you,
Collect eggs.
how do you describe it? So the story of the game is that there was a toy maker named Henry Stoff who invited these 6 guests to his weird house on the coast of the Hudson River, and he said that throughout the house there are clues pertaining to the fact that there should be a 7th guest arriving that night, and the puzzles will reveal what you are to do to said 7th guest.
It sounds like the plot of Clue, the movie.
You, however, are the 7th guest. You show up to the house and everybody is dead. Fun fact, originally they were supposed to be alive, but this is like a full motion video game, and the early blue screen effects made everyone look as if they were partially transparent. They're like, fuck it. You're just seeing their ghosts play out visions of the past.
Yeah, this game is huge. It requires 2 CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
And the game is basically each room of the house will have some kind of puzzle in it, and you have to solve said puzzle, a lot of them almost like little mini games. There's a lot of
What kind of puzzles?
there are some
Mazes, chess problems, pattern matching, word puzzles.
yeah.
That's a
And
Professor Layton.
completing either entering a room or completing a puzzle will show a clip of the previous guests interacting, and so you'll be piecing together this narrative. A lot of it's out of order, so you have to put it together yourself.
It's like you gotta go to those Dark Souls ghosts right before they die. It's
And every isn't it's impressive that there's even a house to explore, considering how many of these people are chewing the scenery so much. Every word every syllable spoken is someone who's all right, I'm gonna put the max amount of just stank on it. You'll get a little voiceover from Henry Stoff every time you go to a puzzle. It's let's see how you would go to solve this one. He'll be give you a little rhyme and stuff.
Smithers.
Food and drink and ghosts.
You don't need food and drink.
And also another fun fact about 2 fun facts about this game. One, there's a puzzle that if you play the game the original game on newer computers, the puzzle becomes almost unbeatable. Because you're playing a game against an AI, and the AI they tied the intelligence of the AI to the processor of the computer, So modern computers have so much processing power that it's able to like know so many moves in advance it's almost impossible to beat.
That is
what is this, a
impressively
robot
programmed.
I don't. So I played the Steam version, and I know a lot of other releases will just either remove that puzzle or like make it easier to skip. Because also that's another thing. Some of these puzzles, if you so choose, you can skip them. Like a lot of the only puzzle you can't skip is the last puzzle of the game. Basically, there's a book in a library that if you go to it the first time, it'll give you an esoteric hint about the puzzle. Second time, it'll give you a little more detail, and then the third time, you'll just beat the puzzle.
Yeah.
But like as I was saying, like I got to like the supposedly unbeatable one in the Steam release, and I don't know if it's like they did something to like make it beatable, but I did beat it. So, and then also, the last fun fact about this game is the writer for it. Speaking of people who go to work on Resident Evil, he did some writing for the Resident Evil 4 remake and worked on Doom 3, the script for Doom 3.
So this motherfucker's the reason why we don't have no thanks, bro. This game sucks, Graham. Fuck this game.
But he did put in what? Where's everyone going?
No, he took that from the original. He doesn't get credited for that.
But he chose to put it back in.
Fair.
Your right hand comes off?
Can I actually... I have a quick fun fact to share about this game. The music is really cool in this game. Basically, there's like a core sort of like musical theme, but then each of the different guests has a different sort of stylistic variation on the melody.
That's cute.
And when the individual guest is there, it plays their version of the melody, and when multiple guests are together, it plays the combined one. Weirdly, kind of like Pikmin 4, actually. Now that I think about it.
I
Holy
love
shit,
it.
he's right.
I love it when soundtracks do that shit. So great.
Or Banjo Kazooie, I think.
Specifically,
Yeah,
Click
Pikmin
Clock
4.
Wood, I think.
You can tell, like, I enjoy this game because I beat it, like, 3 hours ago.
And it's the right game.
It is the right
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, you beat... Yeah, at least you beat some games on this bracket.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, I
We go
beat
to
some of
the
them,
vote.
right.
All right. We start still with Christian.
As intriguing as the 7th guest is, and trust me, if the 7th guest loses, I will be able to vote for it. I had quite a bit of fun with Gunstar Heroes, even despite its lackluster finale.
Graham.
I'm over the 7th guest.
Taylor.
Fucking Graham, man. Gunstar Heroes.
What did I do?
I'm still mad from Blast Round.
It's Mick now.
7th guest.
And tied up for Clanky.
So I remember Taylor asked me if I'd have any interest in playing Gunstar Heroes, and I remember going, "Not really, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look like my thing." And then you guys described it to me, and I am sorry to report that I am wrong. I actually do think Gunstar Heroes sounds like a lot of fun.
Can I be honest, Clinky? One of the main reasons I wanted to play it with you, and like Christian knew that I asked you first, so like don't like he's not. I don't think he's gonna be like mad that I'm bringing this up or like feel shafted. Was the I thought you would really enjoy fighting the bosses.
And
because
it sounds like I would have. I'm not gonna lie.
Because to be honest, when I first played it, I thought this was the one that had the voice lines. I'm like, I want to hear Clanky go, "Can't you bet on black?" Because he'll have so much fun doing those voices.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. So I'm gonna vote for Gunstar Heroes, even though the 7th guest does sound very interesting.
All right. Wins 3-2.
I don't trust any party with only 7 people.
Yeah, you need 8 for the full
It's an
party.
odd number.
Round 5. Oh my lord.
Ghosts.
All right, I think we know which one's winning this one.
Yes. We
Fatty
have
Bear's birthday surprise.
The sleeper hit.
You can decorate a cabbage in Fatty Bear's birthday surprise. You can like
Yeah, I saw that when I
cabbage
looked
in
it up.
most
It's
places.
You
horrifying.
can?
yeah, you can give it an elephant nose, give it buck teeth, and it just stares at you.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's weirdly creepy looking.
Everything in this game is creepy. This is a horror. What? I'm actually scared.
If we could maybe talk about two of the games that made the bracket.
He's right.
We have Doom, which was submitted by Graham and Christian and Clanky and Taylor. Everybody but me and Mick put this game up.
Imagine if you made it your wild card after we all
It'd be
put it
so
up.
funny if I did, yeah. And Sam and Max hit the road, which seems likely to happen after this matchup, which Taylor put.
But that they hit the road.
Yeah.
So actually, I want to bring up something. Very similarly to the Super Mario World pitch, where Taylor, you really want to talk about the maps. For Doom, I really want to talk about some of the technical aspects of the game. So can you save that part for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
I don't have to go first. All I want to say is that I think this did John Wick before John Wick.
The hell does that even
What,
mean?
Sam and Max hit the road?
Well, I haven't seen John Wick, but isn't the whole thing that like John Wick's dog dies and he goes on like a crusade of revenge?
But Sam doesn't die in this game, does he?
I'm talking about Doom.
Oh, dude. Well, spoiler alert for Doom. That doesn't happen until the end.
No, I think the bunny is Doom 2.
Yeah, Doom 2 is the bunny.
I thought that was Doom 1. Then why do you go on a rampage in Doom 1?
So
They're demons.
Because demons showed up.
The thing is, in the Doom guy was apparently part of like an Earth military platoon, and at some point his commanding officer demanded that he open fire on unarmed civilians. So Doom guy punched him in the face, and the commanding officer sent him and a crew to Mars because he hated them so much.
Technically not Mars. I think they're on Deimos.
Oh yeah, one of the moons of Mars, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. I guess, like,
Go, Christian. Let loose.
Well,
Also, you're wrong, guys. It's Phobos, but yeah, close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you go from Phobos to Deimos to I'm fucking hell or something. I don't know. Doom is first person.
3 moons of Mars.
Okay, go.
Doom is first person shooter. It's software. There's a lot about the gameplay that you can go into. I'm gonna skip all that for now because I want to talk about how this game was fucking made. Okay, because this game is a fucking anomaly. Doom is a first-person shooter that was released at a time where if you wanted to upload and develop a game for the PC, it was incredibly difficult because PCs use software rendering instead of dedicated graphics cards, which are inside of game consoles. Software rendering basically means that in order to render 3D graphics, it's a million billion times harder. So, basically the developers of Doom, the programmers, most notably John Carmack, had to make a lot of adjustments and tricks to make this game work. Have you ever wanted to know why there are no vertical hitboxes and why you cannot look up and down in Doom? That is because they knew that if they gave enemies separate vertical hitboxes, that would be an extra hitbox that they'd have to like process in the game, and the game wouldn't run as well. So they were just like, fuck it, the hitbox is infinitely high. There we go. Doom, and actually Wolfenstein as well, Wolfenstein 3D, used a system called raycasting, where every level in Doom is actually a 2D map that is drawn using a WAD file. WAD files, you'd think it stands for something like PNG or JPEG, like a super complicated name. WAD files stand for Where's All the Data? They use raycasting where they basically have the player as like a single sprite on like a 2D plane, and it scans basically all the objects in front, and depending on what objects it scans, it draws differently sized designated columns that appear in front of the screen. By the way, I'm going to be describing this shit. It's hard, so correct me if you know anything more than me. But Doom had a big problem. It couldn't just use raycasting. It couldn't just read data from 2D picture because there was one problem with Doom. Stairs. Stairs were the problem. Because with stairs comes other elevations into the game, which means that there is the possibility of way more objects to be processed because occlusion, meaning, you don't want to be able to see through the stairs, but the things that are behind the stairs might still be rendered. So, John Carmack, the genius that he is, went through a white paper that came out many years before and utilized binary space partitioning, which was first used in the SNES version of Wolfenstein 3D. Basically, every map in Doom is separated into it's basically you take a map of Doom and you split it in half over and over and over and over and over again until there's rooms that are confined in themselves, basically forming a data structure called a binary search tree, which is just the programming version of the Doors of Doom minigame from Mario Party 4. So
Stop.
So basically what you do...
No.
You've just convinced Taylor to vote for Sam and Max Hit the Road.
So the game basically goes through the tree, finds the player, and only renders the thing that the specific leaf of the tree, the tiny little room that the player is in, thus allowing only those specific aspects to be rendered and not like anything that the player is looking at. And then the ceilings and floors are these objects called biz planes, which allow for them to be extended infinitely. And that's how Doom was made. Binary space partitioning in Doom is one of the most influential things in the entire first-person gaming lexicon. It is so important to all of this. And that's not even like some of my favorite programming bits about Doom. You know, Doom is a first-person shooter where you fight demons. The interesting thing about Doom is that it has this really fun mechanic called demon infighting, because the demons in Doom are not just programmed to target the player. They will target anything that hits them. So if you convince one enemy to shoot at a different type of enemy, that enemy will turn the fuck around and they will fight to the death. And you can use this to your advantage. In fact, it is actually incredibly encouraged to do this. It's also,
as I like to call it, monsturbation.
That's a really good word for it.
When NPCs in a game, when enemies in a game start fighting one another, that's what I...
And
I can't believe Mick made that joke.
And it gets even better because the monsters are going to attack whatever attacked them. So if you convince a monster to hit an exploding barrel that's right next to it and explode the barrel when it's next to them, they will proceed to kill themselves because they damaged themselves and they will beat themselves to death.
That's so funny.
And there's so many other just fun tidbits about the game. How the guns, like the pistol and the shotgun in this game, all the sprites, majority of the sprites in this game are based off of 3D models that were actually used in software studios. The pistol and the shotgun were toys from Toys R Us. They were modeled toys from that. The Gatling gun looks more like an actual gun, but in some levels they needed extra textures, so they would flip the Gatling gun sideways and use it for columns. And nobody fucking noticed. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do in recent memory is just to go through the Doom wiki and just look up some of the funny fucking shit that happens, because there's so many little oversights and little tricks and things that just make this game wholly unique in itself.
Like the fact that the title is a reference to the sports movie The Color of Money.
I didn't even know that bit. See how deep this goes.
So there's a scene where John Carmack chose the name because there's a scene where like Tom Cruise walks into a pool hall with like a custom pool cue in a case, and someone says, "What do you have in there?" And he goes, "Doom."
Also, I don't think it's fair to call that movie a sports movie. It's a Scorsese film. It's a character study.
Well, my point is that it's not what you'd think would be.
Right.
Like it's a movie about pool, so you know it's not.
I can't believe Martin Scorsese loves Doom.
He probably does.
Oh,
Probably makes it better than Marvel.
also, by the way, it's a fun game too.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
It's a fun game too.
Yeah.
I was gonna tag team that with you. I'm like, okay, I think Christian's kind of needs to get this out.
I kind of did, I guess.
Anyways, Mick, remember earlier when I'm like 3D quote unquote, and you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor
No,
was
I
about to
knew
go into
I knew what you meant, but that was the thing. Ultima Underworld is actually 3D.
Okay. Did it come after Doom?
No, before.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
first Ultima Underworld game came out came out in '92.
Okay. All I'll add before I go to Sam and Max is that it's basically I was complaining about Wolfenstein 3D last time, and this is Wolfenstein 3D, but with every problem that I had with it kind of fixed. I think the level design is better. I think that the gunplay is, the gunplay is the same, let's be honest, but like there's more of it. You were talking about the enemy variety. I think the enemy variety here is really good.
Oh god, I can tell you every enemy by name. They're so funny.
You can, it's true.
Yeah. Only thing that maybe I'm not super into is that, I'll save it. We're already over.
Sorry.
And Sam and Max, Bigfoot is kidnapped.
Oh.
And you need to find him. So We talked about Sam and Max before. This was their first video game. This was a LucasArts, whereas the other one I talked about was Telltale. So this is much more in line. Tim, I don't remember if Tim had anything to do with this one actually, but anyways, this one takes place all over the U.S. So you start out at one of those rundown carnivals, and you find a hand in a jar, and you take it with you, and you're freelance police, so you have to go on a hunt to find Bigfoot, and so you stop all over the rest stops in the U.S., which are called Snuckies, and they're like gift shops. The villain's name is Conroy Bumpus, whose evil plan is to use Bigfoot and his girlfriend as extras in his country band.
Monster.
Perhaps the yeah, Graham gets it. Perhaps the most innovative part of this game is that Max is a point-and-click object that you can reuse multiple times to solve solutions to puzzles. For example, if you need a ride to stop because you need to get to the maintenance sector, just use Max's body to electrocute, short-circuit the machine. Yeah. It's like, of course, what else would he be there for? He's not going to do much else. You can go to Florida and play mini golf with gators. You can
no, continue, son.
You can bungee jump off Mount Rushmore. You can help a Yeti file his toenails. It's a point and click adventure with the usual charm that these games come with, and therefore all of the problems that Christian won't vote for it over.
Look, can I just say Sam & Max looks really cool, and if there was any point-and-click adventure game that I was ever going to play next, it's either that
I
or
would
Grim
hope
Fandango.
you would vote for the other one on this bracket, actually.
Considering I own it, maybe.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I love this game. I like the other Sam & Maxes more, just from a perspective of, I think the ending in this one is a bit abrupt. I think that they do the climax a little too early, and so the last part of the game feels a little bit weird. And this is one of the few point-and-click games where I actually got stuck, not because I didn't know how to find the solution to puzzles, but because I didn't pick up the proper object because it was too tiny for my mouse to highlight. That being said, it's Sam & Max, and Sam & Max are rad.
Yeah.
I love Max's design.
Oh, you can play Whack-A-Rat with real wet rats.
Did somebody say rats?
Well, yeah, because Sam & Max has like this weird fascination with rats because they did this.
It's not a weird fascination.
Salmon rats.
And then later we got Jimmy Two Teeth, the mobster rat. So, also this game is very referential for the '90s. Like they were making like a lot of on-point references at the time that I don't get, but lots of other people probably.
Coincidentally, Jimmy Two Teeth is also the name of a mafioso with scurvy.
Yep.
Yes,
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the point of the episode where we make jokes about 17th century diseases.
it's the scurvy portion of the evening.
Hey, what is that? It's happened every year, Lisa.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay, yeah. All right. We start now with Graham.
This is a mood.
I feel ya.
Boom.
Actually, that's Doom backwards.
Taylor.
I'm voting for Sam & Max because nobody else is going to.
Well, Mick.
Come back to me.
He was the only person to not put Doom as one of his entries.
Yeah, come back to me.
Yeah, but Mick likes Sam & Max.
Clanky.
Wait.
I will.
Oh. Wait, no, so he would vote for... no, he likes Doom. He likes Doom, is what I meant to say.
Doom is a lot of fun, and I'm surprised that I'm saying that about a first-person shooter that was released in 1993. It's a miracle that not only this game is playable, but like genuinely a fun time.
This might be the most playable game ever made.
Yeah. I once played this on my divorce papers one time. It's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, considering that, like, of all of the games so far, only 3/4 of them have been played.
Dude, they ported Doom to phonographic cylinders. This shit's crazy.
There's a virus that plays Doom.
Actually, Doom is on fucking
Christian.
everything.
I saw someone play Doom on the randomized patterns of Spinda.
Doom
So-
did Skyrim
Oh,
before
yes.
Skyrim.
Someone, and this is literally true. Someone calculated how many crabs you would need to run Doom. Yeah, you could if you had 6 billion crabs, you could run Doom.
Guys,
So,
I
come
know
to
what we have to
Baltimore.
do.
Verb, I know what we're gonna do today.
We have
All right,
this is
Christian,
what
your
the Yearlies.
vote.
The gang breeds crabs.
I would like to. I would like to apologize. That technical explanation was supposed to be half as long, but as soon as I started it, I immediately blacked out, and I just couldn't stop. Doom has
Info
been
dumping. It's a drug.
Doom and another franchise on this bracket have been a absolutely obsessive hyperfixation for me the past couple of months. I guess that's why I couldn't stop talking about it. So I'm going to try to not talk about it as much anymore, and I apologize I took so much time. Nonetheless, of course I'm voting for Doom.
And we're back to you, Mick.
Wait, did Clanky? Oh yeah, Clanky went. Yeah, yeah. So here's the thing. I haven't played Sam Max Hit the Road. I've also never played Doom, which is, I know, crazy.
It is.
And there's no particular reason for that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I mean, it's 3-1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll give it to Sam and Max. I'll give my vote to Sam Max Hit the Road just so that it's not lonely.
Which one do you want to be?
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Oh, Sam or Max?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, Taylor, real talk, in our friendship, who do you think is more Sam?
Oh,
and who
I
do you
know
think
the answer. I just needed to make sure you did.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
On to the next round.
Well, the next round, we have. Here's a title that baffled me: Ninja Baseball Batman.
Oh,
A
let's
game
go.
I initially typed. I genuinely thought that Ninja Baseball Batman was a part of the Batman saga.
We'll get to it.
Which is, yeah, but
You're more right
Christian
than
put
you
it up.
think.
He's not.
Okay. And it's going up against Angband, which was submitted by Mick.
Angabod Crane.
And Gabod Crane.
Who would like to go first?
All right, Mick, you got this.
No, Christian, do you want to go first?
Do you want me to go first?
I'm fine either way. If you want me to go first, I'll go first.
To atone for my 8-minute Doom pitch, you can go first.
All right, sure. So,
Go.
Angband is a... How do I describe it? So, are you familiar with... Even if you're not familiar with the original game, you're probably all familiar with the genre of games called roguelikes.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's this.
Angband is one of the major tentpole roguelikes. Yeah, so the name Angband is a reference to Tolkien's Silmarillion, Angband being the fortress of Morgoth. The premise of Angband is it is a sort of fantasy RPG dungeon crawler where you need to descend and survive through 100 floors of the fortress of Angband in order to defeat Morgoth. Along the way, it starts in a town where you can get equipment and whatnot, and you make your way down through the maze-like fortress, avoiding traps, fighting monsters, leveling up, and eventually, hopefully eventually, being able to slay Morgoth. As I said, all the levels are, it's a roguelike, so the levels are randomly procedurally generated. The game was made by 2 students at the University of Warwick. The game was first released on April 11th, 1993. That was its public release. Technically, the game was available prior to that, but you had to know the guys and be at University of Warwick. So, yeah. The game is written in Unix, and
It's a Unix system.
yeah. So the game is in Unix, and it doesn't have graphics per se. Everything is the graphics is everything is represented by text. So like your character is the @ symbol. The game is still being maintained and updated.
Whoa.
Like as of this recording, the last update to the game was 8 months ago in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah. It is a huge influence on both multiple other role-playing games that came after it. Like, it's cited directly as being the main influence on Blizzard's Diablo. It is referenced in the novel, the sequel to Ready Player One, Ready Player Two.
Well, I mean, everything's referenced
Oh,
in
yeah.
that franchise.
Yeah, but
It would
like,
be more surprising if you said it wasn't referenced.
that's true. That's fair. What's going on? And the game has also spawned a number of different variations. Like, there's a bunch of different versions, people making their own versions, like changing things and manipulating the game. Sharing in BC a roguelike family tree I found. Shows you how Angband relates to Rogue and other roguelikes. My personal favorite version of Angband is one that came out when they released slightly more recently. It's called Sill or Silk. There's Sill, and then there's an update to that called Silk. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Sill-Q. I'm going with Silk. Anyway, it updates the game to be much more of a Tolkien fan game by trying to, rather than playing as sort of like a generic, oh, I'm a human fighter. No, now you're a Noldor from the First Age. So it's much more of a, it's more of a Lord of the Rings lore accurate game rather than just sort of a generic fantasy with some, names from the Silmarillion. Anyone have any questions that I can answer? I'm trying to think of other things to talk about.
I wish I could say I had questions, but I mean, I just think it's
really.
fun to look at Unix games, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. And I hit 4 minutes, so I think I'm good.
Perfect. I feel like I had something I was going to say before this, but I'm just going to hop right into Ninja Baseball Batman, which, yes, is one of the best titles ever conceived by any human or anything ever.
is.
This is a 1993 arcade beat-em-up developed by IREM Software Engineering. Some of you may know IREM for their prolific arcade games, such as Moon Patrol, R-Type, one of the first NES beat-em-up games, Kung Fu Master, and Lode Runner, which is chronologically, but I don't believe release date-wise, the sequel to the NES Bomberman game. However, other people may know IREM for their SNES game Dino City because of the JonTron video.
Dinosity.
Yes.
I remember why no one remembers IREM. This game was spearheaded by designer and copyright holder Drew Maniscalco, and I need to read this next part word for word. This is the origin of how Drew came up with the idea for this game. I was reading an article in USA Today about the top-grossing movies of that time. One was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the other was one of the Batman movies. Inspired, I set out to create my own superhero. I liked the word ninja. It just sounded very mysterious. He needed a weapon, and a baseball bat came to mind. Maybe an influence in the original Walking Tall movie starring Joe Don Baker. And he was a man. So there it is, Ninja Baseball Batman. Anyone who thought that Ninja Baseball Batman had anything to do with Batman are technically correct.
No.
Considering the baseball influence, the character names are actually based off of famous baseball players. There's Rhino, who's based off of Ryan Sandberg, who's the tiny green guy.
Yeah.
The main character, Red Guy, is Jose, based off Jose Canseco. Big yellow guy is named Roger after Roger Clemens, and the tall blue guy is Straw, named after Darryl Strawberry.
Oh,
And-
don't say
yes, very
Roger
good.
Clemens in front of me. It hurts.
And And the other thing about this game's history is that this game bombed in North America. There was a lot of like back and forth between Drew and the Japanese Japanese company that was taking programmers who were taking control of designing this. It's why the Ninja Baseball Batman look like Sentai Rangers. They were originally supposed to look much more like sort of like American cartoonish sort of things. And due to this game's really shitty marketing in North America, it just fell off the face of the earth. It was very unfortunate because this is a beat 'em up game with. First of all, this game looks fucking amazing.
I mean, yeah, it's probably a good thing they didn't go for that more Americanized cartoons because the enemy design is the best thing this game has going for it.
The sprite work in this game is fucking incredible. Everything looks amazing. There are so many different enemy types, and the game has a great sense of humor with its enemy types. There's mafia dogs with guns. There's this boss called Ghost Buffalo, and it's just an amalgamation of these props into this fucking thing. You get
one of the enemies is just lips.
Exactly. There's this Tanuki item that you can throw at people and it has the balls on it. There's this fucking Mick. What's the name of that cryptid that appears?
Oh,
in this
the
game?
Flatwoods Monster.
The Flatwoods Monster appears in this game. There's so many creative sprites, so many wonderful displays of just some of the best sprite-based graphics of the time, and the gameplay surprisingly lives up to this wonderful sprite work. However, you would not know that if you say, for the sake of argument, booted up Ninja Baseball Batman and decided to play it with no prior knowledge about how the game worked. Because if you play Ninja Baseball Batman without a lot of prior knowledge, you'll probably think there's only like 2 to 3 attacks in the game. Turns out we were all wrong because there are a lot of attacks in this game and many unique ways of implementing them. A lot of attacks can only be implemented when you're at low health. A lot of attacks can only be implemented if you use up some of your health. Reading through some of this shit, there's so many like fucking if conditions and stuff like this. It's why sometimes when, because me, Taylor, Mick, and Kyle ended up playing this game, when we would play the game, we'd do shit and we'd have no idea why we did it. And it's because
Christian, I don't think that's a point in its favor.
But it's the truth.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, I am with Mick. Like, we tried to do things, and
I believe
Kyle kept summoning a dragon, and we're like, Kyle, how are you summoning that dragon? He's like, listen, honestly, I don't know. The dragon just shows up when it feels like it.
The best the game does is show off these moves in the main menu, but we didn't really have time to watch through all the main menu animations.
Yeah,
so I still do, however, despite the fact that this is a detriment to the game, that the moves are very hard to pick up, I still think the game's combat, even if its most basic form, is generally satisfying due to the feedback from the amazing graphics, honestly. It makes beating shit up very satisfying. This game also has a lot of fun stage mechanics. I love how ridiculously this game portrays American cities. Florida is a swamp where you fight a giant alligator and turn into a purse, and Chicago is the place where all the mafia dogs are. And it's really funny. I like it. In Vegas, you fight a slot machine, and it's a funny little time.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. At the end of every level, like two of the Sentais will talk to each other and be like, "Oh gosh, we found an artifact." And then the leader will always be like, "Let's go to Florida."
And I guess the thing about Ninja Baseball Batman is, like many people, I found out about this game because of the Angry Video Game Nerd video that he made a while back covering it. Well, it wasn't an Angry Video, it was a James Rolfe video, but, who cares? And I remember I spent, like, the past, 8 years trying to get people to play the game with me.
Yeah, but Christian, we played it with Brendan a while back, didn't we?
You played it with Brendan a while back. I never got to play the game.
Oh no!
So,
I'm sorry.
When we ended up playing the game, a couple. Oh no! Don't worry. I don't take any animosity in that. I don't care because
I do. Clanky,
No,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
hate me. I am.
Clanky, what a shitty thing you did to Christian.
Because
I can't believe I would be so heartless.
Because the thing is, when I ended up playing the game later on, a couple weeks before this bracket, it really did feel like a warm hug. And I still got to play as the green guy, who was the guy that I said I was going to play as 13 years ago.
Well, do you remember being like, I'll be the red guy? Actually, wait, I don't care. You be the green guy.
I was going
I'll
to pick
be
the
red
person
guy.
that nobody else picked. And then you pressed a random button and you ended up as the red guy.
I was Big Weld.
He was Big Weld. This is
Yeah.
true.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It is underrated, and there's apparently a reboot comic coming out or something. I don't know. It has a website. Go on the website, check it out. It's cool.
All right. Cool.
I gotta be real. The game is aggressively okay.
But it has so much charm to it.
Oh no, the graphics are like single-handedly saving the game.
It's one of the, you know how people say sometimes they'll play games just for the vibes? You play this for the vibes. And if you learn all the moves, then you play it for the game, because then it's fun.
We start with Graham.
Guys, we're getting the Angband back together.
We're getting me.
God damn it, Graham.
Angband back together, huh?
That was a great scene too. All right, Mick, take out the hurdy-gurdy. Taylor.
Which one do I vote for? The one with amazing graphics and middling gameplay, or the one with probably good gameplay but no graphics?
You can get texture packs for Angband that actually add graphics.
Unix is an inherently charming engine.
It's a Unix system.
You can play Doom on Unix, but that's not very surprising, is it?
No. Again, you can play Doom on crabs, hypothetically.
I played Ninja Baseball Batman, and I did, it was an hour that, I can't take back. So I'm better for having played it in some way.
Okay. This is the most reluctant victory I will ever take.
Look, my thing, look, I'm kind of with Mick. The gameplay itself is pretty meh, but I would much rather look at Ninja Baseball Batman than I would at Angband. Even with texture packs, I feel like I would want to show someone the fucking slot machine boss or the fucking plane boss. It's just wacky enough that being there in the moment of Ninja Baseball Batman is just an experience you rarely get.
Yeah, it's neat.
Okay.
It just also has really bad boss fights because they all have they have 8,000 health.
Yeah, but you play it for the vibes. You play it for the vibes.
Okay. Mick.
Obviously I'm voting for Angband. Though I liked Ninja Baseball Batman, I can't see myself ever saying, you know what I'm in the mood for?
Yeah.
Some more Ninja Baseball Batman.
But it's so inoffensive.
Scenario: you're talking about Ninja Baseball Batman with someone who's never heard about it, trying to explain to them how crazy the enemy variety is. They're like, I'm not sure I believe you that any game could have enemy variety that crazy. And you go, well, hang on a second. Let me go pull up Parsec.
You ever fight a mechanical humanoid creature made entirely out of baseballs? Twice? No, sorry, 3 times.
Have you ever fought against a wolf that looks suspiciously like an exclamation point?
Damn, he's got a point.
Oh no, not exclamation wolves.
So there's a game on this bracket that I'm going to be voting for solely for the novelty and the charm and the fun of it, and just because I think it's pretty neat. And that game is Clayfighter. So I'm voting for Angband. I played Ninja Baseball Batman way back in the day. It was fine, but I said this before. I'm just not really a beat 'em up guy. I think that a lot of them are just kind of mindless and not in a good way. I mean, I know that they're not, but since I don't understand the combos and shit, it's just not my thing.
Can I be honest with you, Clanky? When I played this game, I'm like, oh, is this why Clanky doesn't like beat 'em ups?
I swear.
It could be because this is probably one of the first. This is probably one of the first beat 'em ups I've ever genuinely played.
You played Castle Crashers before this, I'm sure,
because
right?
Because I have.
I don't know if I played Castle Crashers before Ninja Baseball Batman.
That's actually crazy.
I'm thinking of the timeline in my head, and I remember playing this game, I think before we really got into Castle Crashers, because I think Castle Crashers was out by that time, but it was on the 360 exclusively. I don't think it was on Steam yet.
That's fair, actually.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's why I'm voting for Angband.
Yeah, and Christian.
I was so enamored by Ninja Baseball Batman back in the day. How much I wanted to play it, I had decided back in my Minecraft pixel art days, I actually made pixel art of the main character of Ninja Baseball Batman. It took 8 million fucking years, and it came out pretty well, all things considered, but then I didn't get to play the game for another 10 years. This game's gonna die in losers round 1, but I'm very glad that I remembered it came out this year, because this is kind of one of those one-of-a-kind games that should not be forgotten. Like, no matter how much of an average beat-em-up game this is, this should not be buried. I'm voting for Ninja Baseball Batman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Here we fucking go.
round 7 is another fun one. It's Day of the Tentacle, a Taylor pick if I've ever seen one, against Super Bomberman, which is a Christian pick. Who would like to go first?
I'll do it.
Okay. Starting now.
This is while you play this as a standalone game, this is in fact a sequel to Maniac Mansion. So all the characters from that game are here, but they actually have personality. That doesn't really matter. I just felt like I had to, do my due diligence. In this game, a purple tentacle drinks toxic sludge and gains arms, and it decides, now that I have arms, it's time to conquer the world.
Right.
Do I look like I play ARMS?
And so
Someone here does.
I believe his name is Dr. Fred. Enlists the help of 3 of the characters from Maniac Mansion and says, please get in my time-traveling porta potty called a chromojohn, and we're going to go back to the day before yesterday to stop the tentacle from drinking the sludge and taking over the world. But as you often do in time travel stories, the time machine doesn't really work properly, and all 3 of the characters end up stranded in different time periods. So one of them gets stuck in the past, one of them stays in the present, and one of them goes to the future. And so, between the 3 characters, you transfer items through the time-traveling porta potties and try to fix your chromojohns so that you can get back to the present and stop the evil tentacle. As a result of being in a bunch of time periods, this game has a lot of fun with time-various puzzles. For example, in the past, you are in the critical moments of early American history, so you will hang out with Benjamin Franklin and the Founding Fathers as you help write the Constitution and help Benjamin Franklin fly a kite and you do various shit that's going to affect the present. Like you need to, in the future, the tentacle has taken over the world, so you need to come up with a tentacle disguise. So you will send the American flag over, and in the future you'll use the American flag design as a tentacle disguise. Or you'll find someone who's chiseling a statue. But they're chiseling it so that the statue is left-handed, and you need to make the hand right-handed. So you need to give them, I believe, a right-handed hammer. I actually don't remember exactly how this puzzle works, but you need to shift the variation of the hands so that you can push an old woman into the statue so that she'll get out of the room the right way. Because if the hand is done improperly, then she'll loop around back into the room. So you need to push her properly. You need to push an old lady. Other fun puzzles, you get to stab an inflatable. Yeah. You need to stab an inflatable clown that's mocking you. It's one of those clowns with a voice box, and when you push it, it goes ha 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 ha, and it really pisses off your protagonist. It even comes with the original Maniac Mansion to play. So there's a ton of value here. It's got the usual LucasArts point-and-click sense of humor. I think the color scheme here looks great. This I think started one of my traditions of trying to play a LucasArts point-and-click every spring break. And this was definitely one of my favorite of those experiences. I do think it's better than Sam & Max. I think it's a bit more complete. So yeah, I love this game, and
honestly, I feel like the only reason I would choose to play Sam & Max over Day of the Tentacle, because actually they both sound pretty cool. I find the character designs of Sam & Max more endearing.
I do too. I will say at the very least, I think the character designs are a little weird. You play as Hoagie, who is like a drifter type dude, and then you play as, I don't remember the other two's names. One of them is Nerd, and one of them is Kooky Girl.
Nerd.
I just remember Hoagie because he's like, I'm a Hoagie. I mean, but I think the puzzles are better. Also, there's a Maniac Mansion running gag about putting a hamster in a microwave.
Oh
and
my
this
god.
game-
Oh.
That's what microwaves were invented for.
Oh my.
Little known fact.
And well, no, because there's in the original Maniac Mansion, there were, I don't know exactly how it is, but I believe old versions of the game let you microwave the hamster, and people thought it was so fucked up that later versions came out. I'm sure Mick will do the proper research as I'm saying this because I'm unsure. But Day of the Tentacle had a lot of fun with the idea of microwaving hamsters, so they did a puzzle based around it.
Imagine including
Oh,
that in a
good.
review of the game. This game did a lot of creative things with microwaving a hamster.
Here, that's actually why
Revolutionize the microwaving hamsters.
That's actually why the microwave was invented. There's a group of cryogenics researchers who were like freezing hamsters and trying to reheat them safely, they invented the
That
That's
wasn't a
probably-
joke.
The commercial, yeah,
That's why the reference is there, I say.
the commercial, weirdly, the commercial microwave invented independently, but the first microwave was used to humanely reheat frozen hamsters.
That wasn't a joke, huh?
No,
Damn.
Yeah, and then serve them for dinner.
No.
I can't
Hamsters
imagine
are our
eating it.
friends.
Not hamsters are
Yeah.
friends, not food.
Do you think they taste
It's-
like?
yeah,
What?
of course they taste like ham, obviously.
Okay,
No, I thought they
perfect.
taste like stir. Super Bomberman is a 1993 game.
Anyway, there's another game yet.
Super Bomberman is a 1993 SNES game developed by Hudson Soft. As I said last time, we talked about Bomberman in 1991, developed by Hudson Soft because they made all the Bomberman, well, all the early Bomberman games. This game, you play as White Bomber. And the story is fucking nothing. There's this scientist, Dr. Moke, and this guy called Carrot Diamond. And they make a robot tournament, but the robots are evil. So the Black Bomber decides to go in. It's like, I'm gonna fight him, and he gets his ass kicked. So White Bomber's like, I will avenge you, Black Bomber, and then you go through 6 levels. The story of this and many, many, many future Bomberman games are nothing to actually acknowledge. What's more interesting about Bomberman stories and writing is more so some of the more weird eccentricities, which we'll be going into in later games, but here is very simple stuff. This game is most notable for being bundled with the Super Multitap, which is a device that you can plug into the Super Nintendo that allows you 4 extra controller ports. The Multitap itself was developed by Hudson Soft, and this means that Super Bomberman is one of the first SNES games that allowed for 4-player multiplayer. Hudson would later release another version of the Super Multitap called the Super Multitap 2, and I guess they were going on an ego trip or something, because when they made it, they printed Bomberman's stupid fucking face on the Multitap.
Okay.
This is a simple Bomberman game. You go between several worlds. Your goal is to kill all the enemies in a given square and then find the exit. Inside of soft blocks, which are the blocks that you can blow up, you can gain several power-ups, and you use these power-ups to go after a wacky, colorful cast of enemies and jam to some music and see some new settings and really just experience the weirdness that comes with a game like this. Super Bomberman, as I've brought up several times, this game, despite being probably the most refined Bomberman to come out of its time. Like, seriously, compare this to 91 and 93. Like, here's the differences. Here's the reason. 3 things that I think sucked me into this game. One is the general gameplay loop. Super Bomberman does not waste your time getting you to be disgustingly overpowered. Remember what I said how Bomberman 93 gives you 1 power-up per level? You could probably get more power-ups in 4 levels of Super Bomberman than the entire playthrough of 93.
No, that was this bracket.
What's up?
You said that this bracket. I was like,
So basically, by around level 5, you'll probably be able to drop like 8 bombs and just completely engulf the entire stage in fire, and watch as every single enemy just gets completely
Fireballs, you said.
annihilated. And there's also a bunch of really fun to use other additional upgrades. Remote bombs for blowing up bombs whenever you want, which really just turns you into a psychopath whenever you use it. Bomb kicks to send the bombs across the stage, which are really fun to detonate if you detonate at the right time as it's passing by a fucking vertical slice. It goes, and it kills everyone there. You get throw bombs only in this game, so you can just throw a bomb from Pac-Man one side of the screen to the other. It's just you just become a fucking monster. This Bomberman game also has a couple of features that separate it from the others, one being that this is probably the most accessible Bomberman game, because it's the only one where if you die, it does not restart the level, and that means that this game is not fucking hard as balls. And since the levels are so short and you have to find the eggs in the soft block, it's very easy to do so. This game goes by at a really brisk pace, and by around an hour and 30 minutes, you're done, and it feels like you watched a really good movie. Also, it has a really fun but simple boss fights. Like, there are some that don't even involve, like, having to, like, bomb someone in a particular place. One's literally a fucking sumo match, and there's a section of the game where you have to have, like, these bomber battles against other robot bombers, and the AI is fucking awful, but it makes you feel really good at Bomberman. Since this is a SNES game, this game actually, is the first Bomber game to really have a really great visual style. White Bomber's design is already very endearing, but I also have a list of some other enemy designs that I really, really like. There's this enemy called a King Karu, which are these killer coins that spin around, they got faces on them, and they go through walls. There's this enemy called the Nuts Star, and it is a floating rabbit head.
It's a family show, Christian.
There's an enemy called a Pakupa, which is basically a Bomberman version of Pac-Man. They're known as bomb eaters, and they just gobble up your bombs. They got one eye and shit, Mike Wazowski looking motherfucker. There's Yorisus, which are, I talked about a bunch of silly enemies. These are these giant, hyper-detailed golden armored knights that take 8 million hits to kill. One of the bosses is a decapitated clown head that screams and cries at you. And then there's Cupid. He's a funny guy in a cup. Yeah, I like Cupid a lot. And then just a lot of the silliness that comes with the game, and it's part of the experience. So while you're having a lot of fun, completely annihilating everyone in your way, you also get to see a lot of very interesting visuals. And finally, the third thing about this game that I really like, and I think the thing that actually really did get me hooked on this franchise was the music. The majority of songs in this game are remixes from the 1991 Bomberman game, which I did not mention the soundtrack of. Let me mention it here. It is a platinum tier soundtrack composed by Jun Shikuma, who composed a lot of the pre-2000s Bomberman games, and also composed some music for Sonic and the Secret Rings. And I gotta say, yes, it is a platinum tier soundtrack. No, it is not the best Bomberman soundtrack that we will encounter in the Yearlies. But Super Bomberman, what can I say? It is probably one of the easiest games to have fun with, I think, honestly, considering how much of an easier difficulty curve it is compared to the other Bomberman games, how fun Bomberman is in general, how kooky it is, how great it is to jam to. It is an incredibly easy game to love. And it can make you a Bomberman fan.
Yeah.
What? What do you want, Mick?
Sorry, no, I got a hair stuck in my mouth.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm awfully defensive.
Is that all it takes to fucking roast someone's game? I gotta try that.
Like I didn't mean. I was just like, I'm like, to get a hair in my mouth.
I was literally,
and you took it so personally.
I was literally like, I heard someone like shuffle in their seat. I was like, what the fuck did you say? Is there a comedian in here? Have you ever heard of the man who dissipated into the sands of time? And you never will. Idiots.
Christ. Okay. We go now to the vote. Graham, it is your turn.
My two favorite superheroes all start with like S and end with man. I know it's not technically Bomberman, but there's a super in there, so I'm voting for Super Bomberman.
Super Bomberman does share a lot of attributes with Man of Steel, I will say that much.
Yes.
Oh, is there a scene where the hero just coughs audibly for 3 minutes?
There is now.
Not as unlikely as you would think, but we'll get to that later.
Taylor.
Well, Day of the Tentacle shares a lot of attributes with Day of the Tentacle, so you should vote for Day of the Tentacle, like I am, who is voting for Day of the Tentacle.
I've got to say, you really sold that game for me. It sounds a lot like.
Yeah, I tried to get you, Mick, to play it with me before the bracket, and then
I'm actually interested in playing it now. It's crazy.
No one followed up with me.
No, I was waiting for you guys to do something.
I was like, Mick, well, no, Mick said, "Let me get back to you," and then Mick never got back to us.
Did I do that? Holy shit! I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you said, "Let me check," and then I saw you hanging out with Christian.
Wait, when was it? I don't remember. Who
Yeah, when the hell
cares?
was this?
It was when you were
Through his
configuring.
window.
It was when you were configuring Parsec for Ninja Baseball Batman. It was like
Oh,
that time.
okay, right.
Right. Mick.
I'm voting for Day of the Tentacle.
Okay, I forgive you.
The Clanky.
I'm voting for Super Bomberman.
It's a lost cause. Christian, do that thing where you
No,
where you, like,
no, I'm a
portray your
changed man.
pick.
I'm gonna vote for Super Bomberman and say nothing else.
Okay. Well, finally, round 8, which is Syndicate, which is a Graham pick, versus Shadow of the Colossus. Wait, no, Shadow of the Comet, which is a Mick pick.
Puss? Is someone say puss?
No, that was earlier.
Dude,
who'd
Puss
like
in
to
the
go?
90s was the real good era, you know?
Yeah.
That's where it really found its peak.
Yes, 90s Puss.
90s Puss, man.
Who'd like to go first?
I'd like to go first.
Go first.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Stop talking about it and just do it.
Yeah. So.
Time starts now.
Shout of the Comet, later re-released as Call of Cthulhu, the Shadow of the Comet, was another. So I believe I mentioned in my pitch for Alone in the Dark that it was initially supposed to be a Call of Cthulhu game, but Chaosium said, "Nah, it's gone too far. We're not gonna let you have the license anymore." Shadow of the Comet, they let them have the license for it. Let me try it. How is best to describe this? Shadow of the Comet is a point-and-click adventure game without any pointing and clicking. You don't point and click at things. You move your character around with the arrow keys, and when you get near something, you use button presses to interact with it, which is not too weird. I think I'll put it this way. I've played games with horrible gameplay. I've played games with amazing stories. I don't think I've ever seen the two married so well in Shadow of the Comet. Like, it's not the worst game I've ever played, but it also doesn't have the best story I've ever played, but it is the game with the best story combined with the worst gameplay that I've ever played.
Oh.
I respect this. As a Ninja Baseball Batman fan, I respect this wholeheartedly.
Like, so the premise is the game takes place in 1910, and you play as a British astronomer who's come to the small town of Ilsmith to photograph Halley's Comet. And also investigate what happened during the last visitation of Halley's Comet, where a British lord named Lord Bulston disappeared under mysterious circumstances shortly before claiming that he discovered an entirely new set of stars in the sky in Ilsmith. So obviously it is a horror game, and it's a horror adventure game, and slowly descends into become genuine. Incidentally, it is actually the thing that game nails more than anything is the story, pacing, and atmosphere. Like, this game is legitimately creepy in a lot of ways. Like, even though that you're mostly walking around the town during daytime, everyone and everything in the town is just slightly off. In that kind of a Twin Peaks-esque way, where there's, like, just something slightly off about everyone.
Reminds me a bit of Harvester.
I was gonna say Harvester if you hadn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Harvester's another good example of that sort of thing.
We always were.
Yeah, Florida.
And the story is pretty good, and there's even some genuinely scare. There was a jump scare in the game, and it got me. I'll have to admit. That said, I need to talk about the gameplay. I want you to think about, if all of you who have played adventure games, even those of you who haven't, but have played games with puzzles in them, I want you to imagine the most annoying, frustrating puzzles in any game you've ever played. Now imagine a game composed of nothing but those puzzles. Christian, imagine nothing but, if this is for, what's this?
I'm ready to
That
vote.
puzzle is amazing. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm ready to vote.
That is the best puzzle in any point-and-click adventure game.
Like, I can't stress how bad and frustrating the puzzles are in this game, to the point where I'd say, if you're gonna play this game, have a walkthrough on hand just in case. There's one level where you need to find a key to access something, and where the key is underneath a rug in a different room, and nothing would lead you to believe it's under the rug. Like, there's no little bump in the rug. You just have to get lucky and happen to walk past it and be pressing the correct button to lift up the rug and grab the key. It has a horrible problem with not telling you shit and just expecting you to figure things out. Oh, like, okay, there's a bit. This is barely even a puzzle. This is definitely a puzzle, but like it's barely. You need to get some photos developed, and it's the 1910s, so photo developing is a bitch to do, and you have to do it yourself. So you're given the dark room. You have your photo plates, and you need to combine the 4 correct chemicals in the game. You need to combine the 4 correct chemicals to develop the photos. They put you in a room with over 8 chemicals, and no hints. You have to manually look up and try and figure out what chemicals do I need to use to develop photos.
This is the Holy Grail puzzle from the 3rd Indiana Jones movie.
Here's the thing.
This is a mole challenge.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If this game came out in 1993, you would have had to go to there was no internet to look this up. You'd have to go to your local library and get an encyclopedia and try. That's the thing. There is no guidance in the game how to develop a photo, what chemicals you need to use. You would have to know outside of the game what chemicals you need to develop a photo.
I can't believe a game's gonna make me use the Dewey Decimal System to find a fucking book to
This
solve its
game. I have never been so frustrated attempting to solve puzzles. It is like every single puzzle would be the worst puzzle in a different video game.
Mick, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you play this for the vibes?
You play it for the vibes.
Sick. Sick. Okay.
You also play for the fact that all the characters in the game, a bunch of them are modeled after famous actors that they in no way got the permission for. So like there's like the doctor in town is literally just Vincent Price, and there's a character who is literally Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
Oh my god, is this the screenshot you told me?
Yes, this is the screenshot I sent you.
Oh my god.
You have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't say anything else because I'm already over time. And yeah, it's
Anyway, there's another game in this matchup.
Yes. So, I like you to imagine a future where mega corporations control everything. There are people going around implanting devices into your brain that'll make you see what they want you to see. So even though everything is shitty and like awful, like you only see like sunflower and rainbows.
like Wally.
Oh, like Strange Days.
Yes.
Like the Jeffersons. What are we talking about?
Now imagine a game where you could control one of those evil mega corporations, and you could send your own agents out on missions to increase your control of the global economy and all of that. And that is Syndicate. It is a sort of like top-down isometric. You have 4 agents that you send on missions. The missions will range from assassinations to like or assassinations, or sometimes you'll be given you'll have to quote-unquote recruit like a scientist or someone from another company, and so you equip your agents with the Persuadertron to literally take over their chip to get them to fight for you, and then in between missions you're like doing research, like equipping your guys with like all like the best stuff. Yeah, it's not really like it's when you get down to like brass tacks, not really a lot to this game, but there's a lot of very interesting like ideas and concepts. I was able to play a fair bit of Syndicate recently, but I kind of had to rapidly find a way to play 7th Guest recently.
Wait, so did you play the games where you put them in your entries, or were you gambling?
This is Graham we're talking about. Take a guess.
I kind of respect the gamble, because it seemed like it paid off.
Yeah.
I don't. Fucking Graham, dude.
Yeah, you gambled on a game that you didn't play.
That's like, he's been doing this for like the last 20 years.
The last
Gambled on
20 years.
Gambled on a game because you mixed up what order the fucking number was in.
Oh my god, Graham.
No, but yeah, Syndicate. I was able to play a bit of it. It's fun. I wasn't able to get too in depth into like all the controls and things. I think there's a way that you can have your agents like act autonomously.
Well, why would you ever want to do that?
Well, because like, you have like 4 agents, and it could be sometimes a little like overwhelming to be like, all right, you're moving all these. It's like you have to like have them move here. They only shoot when like you shoot. Yeah, but you can like pick. Yeah.
You're ridiculous.
You can also name your evil company whatever you want. So I know that's that's gonna appeal to some of you.
I'm gonna name it Evil Company.
I mean, there are literally so many options. Take your pick. Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Enormacorp from the Looney Tunes show.
Nutting Incorporated.
Acme.
Nutting.
Gonna name my umbrella. Let's go. Monsanto. Amazon. God, there's so many options. Nintendo.
But yeah. I already have a lot more to talk.
Sneed's Feed and Seed.
Formerly Chuck's.
Formerly Chucks.
Great joke.
The Yearlies.
Oh, too
Anyway,
evil, too evil.
Are we ready to get to the vote?
Christian, insert last name here.
Anyway, it's Graham's turn.
I'm gonna vote for Syndicate.
Taylor.
Okay, Mick. I was gonna vote for Shadow of the Comet, and then you sat here and told me that it is a point and click with the worst point and click puzzles in any point and click game ever made, and that I should imagine the worst parts of all point and click puzzles, and this just being a giant collection of them.
But you play
Which one do you think I should vote for?
I think you should vote for. I think you will like. I think you can. I think you will appreciate Shadow of the Comet. Do I think that? Shadow of the Comet is a worthwhile experience.
Okay. I tell you what, Mick. I will vote for whatever you tell me, but you have to hold your hand up to the book and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and tell me which one you think I would like more.
I don't know, because I've not played Syndicate, so I can't speak to that. But I can say, playing the game with 2 other people, very much enjoyed Shadow of the Comet. Now, how much that was the game and how much that was the people I was playing with and riffing on the game, that's a different question.
Right.
I'll give you one more idea. I'll give you another idea of the kind of puzzle in this game. A guy, what's going on? You need to find this place in the woods, and so you find a guide in town to take you to the woods. You also need to bring your camera out there. You pick up your camera and and your tripod from your hotel room. And then you go, and he says, "Oh, don't worry, sir. I'll carry the tripod for you. You can carry the camera." It's like, okay, cool. You walk in the woods. He leads you to the place you need to go, and then something in the bush moves and scares him, and he runs home, taking the tripod with you. What would you do in that situation? Chase after him and get the tripod back, right? Nope. The solution is to wander around the woods for 20 minutes, picking up sticks and vines to make a new tripod out of woodland utensils.
Circular reasoning, the video game.
And again, I ask, which one do you think I should vote for?
I want you to vote for Shadow of the Comet.
It's Dark Souls 2 again.
Listen, I'm low on Mick favor points. I need to build up my stuff. I'll vote for Shadow of the Comet.
Plus 20 Mick credit delivered directly into your account.
Ding, ding, ding. Mick.
Come back to me.
Well, what?
I swear to God, Mick, I will change my vote.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's evil. So evil. Clanky.
Is the story really that worthwhile, Mick? Would you really say it's that worthwhile?
That worthwhile?
Like, Can I get the same value out of this just by like watching a Let's Play? I guess.
Yes, you could get the same value out of this watching a Let's Play.
Okay. All right.
I gave this game my vote.
I think I'm gonna go for Syndicate.
Yeah. That means Christian.
Graham, I have a very important question for you.
Yes.
Your number 1 pick was Doom, and
Yes.
your number 2 pick was Syndicate. Did you base your choices off of the hit sequel to the DreamWorks movie Megamind that released this year, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate?
What answer gets you to vote for Syndicate?
Yes
What?
is the answer. If you say yes, I will vote for Syndicate.
Cross your finger. You legally give me the rights to, let's say, own you if you are lying.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then yes.
So I was gonna vote for Syndicate anyway, so technically I'm not lying.
All right.
So you made a life bet for nothing?
I figured I'd let Graham finish the sentence.
Welcome to the Yearlies.
You just wanted Graham to own you.
No, I won the bet because I'm not lying. So Graham does not own me.
I thought if you voted for Syndicate, he owned. Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
Listen,
Mick,
I'm a
decide if you're
little-
voting against your own game.
Yeah, what's the score? It's 3-1.
3-1 Syndicate.
I'll vote for Syndicate.
Mick,
I'm changing my vote to Syndicate. It's a 5-0.
Then I switch my vote to Shadow the Comet. You can keep it the
Then I'm
same.
voting back to Shadow of the Comet.
What's going on? Hot potato.
So now it's 3-2.
Okay. So,
Can I change my vote
Goof
to Shadow
Troop
of the
versus
No,
Ridge
no,
Racer.
no. Okay.
Goof Troop versus Ridge Racer. The
Um.
voting order. Yes?
Oh, I'll let you say your spiel first.
No, I was just gonna say the voting order has shifted and it's now Taylor's turn.
Yes, your spiel.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Mick, do you remember a while back you gave a pitch for Arcanum, and you were talking, and like you neglected to bring up the sheep fucking first, and I was like, Mick, why wouldn't you open with the sheep fucking? I don't know why that was so important to me, but I was rewatching the Game
I think
Grumps
I know.
play. I was rewatching the Game Grumps playthrough of Goof Troop. Just to have the experience of Goof Troop. And in one of the episodes, John is like, hey guys, everyone just write a comment, write any comment. I want to see what the algorithm does with like a video that has like a big response rate. And I looked down, and 11 years ago, I wrote, uh-oh, I fucked sheep.
He knew.
So
I think we're all learning something about Taylor.
something subliminal.
I didn't know Taylor was Welsh.
Oh no!
There's a joke for our friends across the pond.
Yeah. Howdy sketches.
I love how you think that we not only have multiple people, but that they're all from all varying different countries.
There's at least one person from Scotland watching us.
Yes, I can confirm that we have a viewer in Scotland.
And to that fan watching, I do not fuck sheep. I just needed to share that story to explain the subliminal reasoning that must have gone in my head when he brought up Arcanum that last time. I vote for Goof Troop.
Thank you. Mick.
I think I'm gonna vote for Ridge Racer.
Right.
I mean, I don't deny that
Clanky.
Ridge Racer does sound fucking phenomenal based off of Clanky's pitch.
It does. It does.
Look how happy that guy was.
Yeah, Nathan Fielder looked so happy in that photo.
He does.
Yeah.
And if Nathan Fielder can be happy playing Ridge Racer, then gosh darn it, I can too. I'm voting
The
for Ridge
plan?
Racer.
Infuse Ridge
Right.
Racer cabinets into multiple Outback steakhouses to drive up the consumer rates.
Outback Steakhouse. Fry the stick and then the Ridge Racer.
Christian.
My name is Nathan Swedish.
Was that a vote? Okay, thank you. It's all tied up and it's down to Graham. Am I turning my camera on again?
Goof Troop. I like Goofy. I don't
Thank
like
you.
cars.
He's right. He's right.
Yeah, it's true, guy. It's true, ladies and gentlemen. Graham has decided that he is going to be a burden on all of his friends rather than actually trying to drive.
Oh, I don't like cars either.
I have a license, and I can also agree that I hate cars.
So do I.
They also suck in real life as well.
I don't like driving, but I still like I like cars. I just don't really like driving.
Cars 2, on the other hand.
Oh, come on. 3D Dinosaur Adventure versus the Seventh Guest, guys. Come on now.
Fucking Graham.
Well, Graham?
Before we move
So
on,
it's Taylor first.
hold on, just really quick. I have something to confess. Ladies and gentlemen, this entire time you have been lied to. Because it was actually made apparent to me that 3D Dinosaur Adventure was not Dinosaur Adventure 3D a few days ago. But the person who revealed this information to me was none other than Christian last name.
I was making the banner, and I was making I was looking through all the average ratings of the games out of curiosity, and I was like, oh, look at the search bar. There's 2 3D Dinosaur Adventure games. What the fuck?
So Christian, why did you pretend?
Because
it would be funny.
Yeah, we conspired to have a moment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yearlies.
However, I must confess that the entire reason that any of this happened in the first place is because during the last fucking Yearlies, Graham texted me and was like, "Hey Christian, guess what game's coming out in 1993?" And I was like, "Oh my god, Dinosaur Adventure 3D."
I looked at the games of 1993 and it said, like, I think it might have been a misprint or something, but it did say Dinosaur Adventure 3D.
The thing is, we're both the clowns because it took us literally 2 days before this happened before either of us realized.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. That's perfect.
Jordan, that's why I sent you the gif of I know something you don't know.
Right. Okay. I knew it had something to do with this. I just didn't know what about.
Oh, really? He sent you an I know something you don't know? Mine was a threat. Mine was, if you talk, there will be consequences.
That just says a lot about Graham's relationship with both of us.
Also, for a fact, the threat was Christian's idea.
It was.
Oh.
Wait, what
Christian
threat?
just
Why
texted
were you
Graham
sending
and
a
was threatening
So none
Taylor.
of you like me. I got it.
Why were you sending a threat?
It's funny.
Because I sent an image of to Taylor of the screenshot of Christian telling me that it wasn't Dinosaur Adventure 3D.
Oh, okay.
But attached was if you keep this image a secret or there'll be consequences.
I was inspired by that one bit in Unfriended where it's like, if you show this paper, the other person dies.
God.
So literally, me and Clanky were the only ones who were blind going in. And even then, I actually knew that this wasn't the same game.
Everyone was blind going in. This was messages I sent during the year.
Yeah, we had to race you, Mick, to beat to the punch.
Okay, because I started to say it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, Graham, you do know that this isn't that game, right? I was about to interrupt and say that.
We had to literally race you.
Okay, so we start now with Taylor.
Fucking Graham, man. Go for the 7th guest.
You're voting for one of my games anyway.
And they both have a number.
Fucking Graham, man.
Mick.
Her name to be is semi-extra Mr.
I love this so much. Clanky.
The 7th guest.
Christian.
We'll return to this conversation in 1999. The 7th guest.
Really? Okay. Beautiful.
Do you think 3D Dinosaur
right.
Adventure is true 3D, or do you think it's or do you think it's
I don't know. Everything I've seen of it has been like decidedly 2D.
Do you think it's made in a binary space partitioning method?
I think it's a version of Doom, actually. I think
You can run
play
Doom in
it.
Dinosaur Adventure 3D.
Yeah. Salmon Max at the Road versus Ninja Baseball Bat Man. Taylor.
Fucking Sam, man. Sam and Max.
Mick.
Come back to me.
Clanky.
Sam and Max.
Christian.
God damn it! I feel like I had something I wanted to say. I mean, I'm voting for Ninja Baseball Batman, but I don't know. Whatever. I think I said everything I wanted to say about this game. Admittedly.
Here, let me help you. I'm just not into point-and-click video games as a genre. I just don't enjoy the idea of puzzle solving and point-and-click games. And, Ninja Baseball Batman is this game that I have all this nostalgia for, so I'm going to vote for it.
That's a very good Christian impression.
Yeah.
No, it actually was a pretty terrible one. Actually.
Actually, it's true. I can do a better Christian impression.
No, the one you're thinking of is even worse.
The Long Island accent didn't slip enough.
Well, you tell that to Mick because we founded a friendship off of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then I actually started hanging out with Christian. I realized it's a terrible impression. But it was very funny. Lawyer at Law was an inspired joke.
Anyway, yeah, I respect the vibes a lot. I vote for Ninja Baseball Batman. I like the vibes, but I'm probably gonna play Sam and Max at some point.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, that is victory in and of itself because it's a point-and-click game.
I love Poker Night the inventory.
Graham.
I'm gonna vote for Sam Max at the Road.
And Mick, it's 3-1.
Then I won't feel bad about voting for Ninja Baseball Batman.
Thank
Gotcha.
you for the consolation prize. But
Day of the Tentacle versus Shadow of the Comet Losses.
Okay. All I need to do here is point out that these are both point-and-click games.
They're not
And
point. Shadow of the Comet's not a point-and-click game. You can't. The mouse does nothing.
I'll let everyone else decide what to vote for. Oh, but I
Okay.
go first. So,
Yeah.
of the day, Tentacle.
Yes. Mick.
Shadow of the Comet.
Clanky.
Day of the Tentacle.
Christian.
I am just very surprised that I want to play, or that I am more interested in playing Day of the Tentacle, because, like, admittedly, one of the things that was holding me back from it was kind of the art style. It's not exactly my thing, almost like hyper cartoonish sort of thing. Not exactly my thing all the time, but the jokes that you have described have sold me. That doesn't stop me from wanting to eventually watch Mick play the Shadow of the Comet sometime, but
I think it will lose a lot of his luster because now he knows the solutions.
yeah, I guess. Or watch me suffer, I don't know. But I'm voting for Day of the Tentacle.
No. The game is also the game. The game will kill you a bunch as well, and the death animations are the ways you can die in this game are hilarious.
When you load up the game, it sends your tax returns to the IRS.
Basically, yeah. No. The game. Here's the thing. It's a Lovecraft game. It's a Lovecraftian game, and the difficulty of the game really makes you feel like you are in an uncaring universe that has almost malicious intent towards you.
Right.
Oh, Mick, don't make me change my vote.
Oh, no. Well, then Graham.
Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, wow. Okay. Alrighty. So we go now to Ultima Underworld 2 Labyrinth of Worlds versus Kirby's Adventure.
The two most similar games in the world.
Absolutely. We start with Mick.
Yeah, so I do want to say something. So, like, Ultima Underworld, the thing is that, yeah, it's way more, because in terms of its 3D, how it depicts 3D space and whatnot, way more advanced than Doom. Like, there's actually vertical hitboxes and such. At the time, it had like it was super taxing. Like there were the specs you needed to run the game were really high. Probably not as high as the Seventh Guest, but actually no. Seventh Guest was basically just a space thing. But yeah, Ultima Underworld 2, pretty high technical specs you needed to run the game.
Right.
Because again, a fully 3D bed, that was a lot.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm voting for, obviously my pick, Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth World.
Yeah.
It can produce mind-boggling effects.
It can.
Clanky.
I guess the thing is that like I know that there are Kirby games that I like a lot more, so I'm gonna vote for Ultima.
Christian. Well.
I mean, it's really funny that you say that, Mick. That Ultima is a very taxing game. Because one of the biggest critiques against Kirby's Adventure is how taxing it is on the NES. There are some abilities that I literally never used because if you use them, the frame rate tanks. I just couldn't use them, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought my emulator was fucking out, and I go online, and I'm like, emulator busted playing Kirby's Adventure, and all the comments...
You mean your totally real NES copy?
No, my emulator, and I went online, and I was like, Kirby's Adventure busted, how to fix on this emulator, and they're like, no, that's the game doing that. It's a perfect ROM of the game. It's not going to stop me from voting for Kirby's Adventure because I had a lot of fun playing it, but it is one of the biggest critiques towards the game that is somehow, for some reason, fixed on no version except for the 3DS re-release.
I mean, the good news is having a modern computer fixes Ultima Underworld.
So either a 3DS or a fucking PC, a great PC.
No, even a bad PC in 2024 can play Ultima Underworld 2, no problem.
What about a bad PC in 1993?
No, of course not. It could play Doom and nothing else.
Okay, so I assume this is over Kirby's Adventure. Graham.
I'm gonna vote for. I'll vote for Ultima.
And Taylor.
My thing with games with as much depth as something like Ultima is I really need it to be modern because a lot of these old games are very selective in how they, like, even though they give you lots of ways to go through it, if you don't do things the right way, things can get really confusing and really janky, and you can soft lock and just tons of messiness that I would be terrified to play something like this without a guide. I mean, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now, and I need a guide nearby because I'm so overwhelmed by these types of games. So, I mean, but I do have a lot of respect for the dungeon crawler. Even though Kirby's Adventure is not Nightmare Dreamland, I do still like it. So.
Okay.
Yay! Yippee!
Right. 2 votes. Yippee!
I'll take it. Fuck it. I was scrounging in the 90s, dude.
Scrounging in the 90s.
I did actually install a mod for Ultima Underworld 2 Labyrinth of Worlds to change the control scheme a bit, because it's some of the ways it's controlled on it makes sense for an older computer. It's kind of hard to do on a modern keyboard.
Dude, you should have seen what I was doing when I played Doom on the DOS box. I was telling Clanky about it. I shot with the comma key on my keyboard.
All right. Clayfighter versus Gunstar Heroes, starting still with Mick.
I think I'm gonna vote for Clayfighter.
Yes.
Cool. Clanky.
I think this bracket I'm ride or die for Clayfighter.
Wow. Christian.
Clayfighter.
Clank.
So I would like to say, while I am voting for Gunstar Heroes, I I am so bemused by everything that I have seen from Clayfighter, and I find the entire thing incredibly fascinating. So, despite my vote, I am secretly hoping that Graham gives it to Clayfighter.
Well, Graham.
Clayfighter.
Yes, yes.
And Taylor.
Fucking Graham, man.
Yes.
I'm more of a Play-Doh guy myself. Gunstar Heroes.
If it was called Clayfighter, this would be a totally different story.
I mean, absolutely.
All right. Doom versus Angband. Let's see here. We start with Mick.
Rip the Band-Aid off Angband.
Okay. Clanky.
Doom.
Christian.
One very last thing I'll say about Doom. I love the boss fights in this game, which is very surprising because, like, you would never expect to love the boss fights in a fucking game like this because it's like, oh, very strong enemy that shoots at you. There we go. But they do such wonderful builds up to the boss fights, and the boss fights themselves, once again, have all of these sort of, like, technical strategies for dealing with them. Like, again, the infighting. There's a boss fight who has this hit scan attack where basically it'll fucking, no, you know what? No, I'm not doing this again. I'm voting for Doom. We're not doing this twice.
You were about to black out again, weren't you?
I was about to go on a bender.
Doom.
Okay. And Sailor.
Fucking Angband. No, I'm voting for Doom.
Oh, man. Super Bomberman versus Syndicate. Starting with Mick.
Vote for Bomberman is a vote for me.
Syndicate.
Okay.
I see how it is.
I was about to say Syndicate anyway, and then you said that, and I'm like, should I just say it? I don't know how to respond.
That vote for Bomberman saves my kid from the hospital.
Syndicate.
Syndicate. No, I'm voting for Super Bomberman.
Christian.
Every vote for Bomberman donates $100 from your bank account into my GoFundMe. I think one of the reasons I've been so excited during this Yearlies is because the two franchises that I have been hyper fixating over for the past 2 months.
You said this already.
Doom and Bomberman to a sickening
But
degree.
he blacked out for most of that.
I
So.
know, right? But like having both of them on the same bracket is insane. And while I am gunning for Doom, because I don't know if I'm going to be putting up any other Doom games for the rest of the 90s, I still really want Super Bomberman to win because there is no such thing. Well, there is such thing, but this game is so pleasant. It's so pleasant.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's no such thing. This game is so pleasant. Can you explain your reasoning? Can you explain what you were trying to do there?
Because the thing that I was trying to say, there was no such thing, so it didn't exist, so I couldn't say it. So I just switched the sentence.
What? There was no such thing of what?
Exactly. There was no such thing of it, so I switched the sentence. What if
Grammar.
Super Bomberman?
Did we all have a
Graham.
stroke?
I'll be making residuals from this because I'm entering syndication.
And Taylor.
Fucking Bomberman.
Holy shit, Doom's going up against Bomberman! Oh no!
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
This is like the
but for now-
culmination of the entire year for me.
For now, we have Kirby's Adventure versus Day of the Tentacle. The voting order has shifted. It is now Clanky's turn.
I think I'm gonna vote for Day of the Tentacle.
Christian.
So there is actually something I have to admit.
I don't
You
like
like
Kirby. Never liked Kirby.
So this entire time, both leading up and during this bracket, I am of the firm belief that I have been gaslighting myself into liking Kirby's Adventure.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Because
Can't say that now after it beat a bunch of shit.
I have been trying so hard to like Kirby's Adventure. It only beat Ridge Racer, which is this game that Clanky talked about for a minute.
That's true. Fair enough.
So I tried so hard to like Kirby's Adventure, But not all the slowdown is so much worse than how I described it. And enemies will materialize in front of you because Sakurai took up a third of the screen with useless bullshit. So, you'll try to run through a level super fast and a Bronto Burt will just materialize in front of your face. Your copy abilities fly out in one hit and they despawn when they go off the screen. So the best strategy is just to let it go. You just let it go. You get hit once, you lose your ability, never get it again. And it sucks. It sucks because this game has so many great things about it. But god damn it, I'm just gonna... this might be out of spite, but I'm voting for Day of the Tentacle.
Is this the Bizarro Yearlies?
I don't know. Graham.
In what universe does Christian vote for a point-and-click adventure over a Kirby game?
Maybe if they didn't release it on the NES. Maybe.
Day of the Tentacle.
Taylor. Is this gonna be a 5-0?
Okay, wait, hold on. It's a...
No, you voted.
No, it's a 5-0. I'm voting for Kirby's Adventure. I can't let it go like that.
Mick?
I'm giving it to Kirby's Adventure.
3-2. That's cool too.
Okay. Oh, so you're voting for Kirby's Adventure now, Christian?
Yes, I if it's already lost, I'll vote for the franchise.
Okay.
In which case, I'm voting.
No, I get that. You know, change it to Day of the Tentacle. No, change it to Day of the Tentacle.
Who cares?
I care.
I was gonna say you don't matter, but that sounded too mean.
Apparently, that's the running gag with me, I guess.
Gunstar Heroes versus Sam and Max Hit the Road. Clanky.
Yeah, they're both Taylor picks, but who cares about that guy?
Oh,
I do. Taylor's
just vote
great.
Just vote for Fatty Bear. Oh wait, that's also a Taylor pick.
Well, I'm gonna vote for Gunstar Heroes.
Okay. Christian.
Dude, you know what? Honestly, I actually do think this is the Bizarro universe because I have a strong compulsion to vote for Sam and Max Hit the Road.
No, you don't.
I'm voting for Sam and Max Hit the Road.
No, you're not. It's incorrect. Why? Explain your reasoning.
Because even though the point-and-click genre is one that I am not particularly fascinated with, Sam and Max as a franchise, from what I have seen, always seems so charming and funny and has a lot of redeeming qualities to it. It's the source material that's based off of seems so cool. And Gunstar Heroes has great moments, barred down by the rest of the stuff that I literally just can't remember.
Right.
This is the Bizarro universe. Christian is voting for the point-and-click game, and I'm upset about it.
Wow. Graham.
I'm going to vote for Sam and Max.
Okay, Taylor.
I mean, I do love Sam and Max as a franchise more than Gunstar Heroes, but I like Gunstar Heroes as a game more than this Sam and Max.
It's all tied up, and it's down to Mick.
Sam and Max.
Wow.
And the two point-and-click games will go up against each other.
Holy crap. Angband versus the Seventh Guest. Starting with Clanky.
I'll give it to Angband.
Okay. Christian.
This one's actually tough. Come back to me.
Graham.
I'm going to vote for the Seventh Guest.
Taylor.
I don't know, man. Angband got really bad when they kicked Sokka out.
I knew someone was going to make an Avatar joke eventually, and I actually did try, but I couldn't conceptualize it.
I didn't have that one in my cards.
Was on my bingo sheet.
Angband is the 60 perfect episodes.
Yeah, I did draw that card immediately. I'm voting for the Seventh Guest.
Yeah. Nick.
Angband.
And Christian.
Wait, is it 2-2?
Yeah.
That means he has to give a speech.
Hold on, I'm actually gonna look up at the pictures that we're. No, that's cheating. I visualize what both of these games look.
No, the pictures are okay.
I'm looking at the picture, but not to get the art style. It's so I can remember exactly how Angband plays.
So Angband is basically sort of it's turn based. So like you'll move. So like every time you move, it updates. Yeah.
It's like Cave Noir. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like one of the graphic overlays for the Magnavox Odyssey.
I think that I would have slightly fonder memories with the Seventh Guest.
Yeah, but which one would you rather play now?
Well, you know what? I'll play them both and get back to you.
Alright, so I guess the Yearlies is on hiatus until you beat Angband and the Seventh Guest?
All right, everyone, pack it up.
You know, there have been hiatuses for sillier reasons.
Pack it up. We'll remake the bracket in Photopia again.
Okay.
3D
that's
Dinosaur
kinda great,
Adventure
yeah.
will get on anyways.
Okay. Syndicate versus Goof Troop, starting with Clanky.
I guess I'm gonna vote for Goof Troop.
Okay. Christian.
Now, this feels like a Bizarro universe to me, but I am going to continue to vote for Goof Troop. I had no interest in this game before this Yearlies, and I am been swayed. I'm voting for it.
Graham.
Syndicate.
Taylor.
Cause it's whose troop, it's Goof Troop. You know what to do. Sit down in our goofing troop and troop. Troop. Goof. That's when we use our minds to take a step at a time. We can goof anywhere that we wanna gwash. Da, 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 da.
I haven't played the game, but I can't.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what the theme of the show is.
Oh, it's show,
Yes.
right?
And then the Goof Troop goes in the hooty putty.
and Mick.
Syndicate.
It'd be so funny if you did do this way, shit voting for Goof Troop again. But
Goof Troop lends itself to the beautiful Swedish language.
Goof Troop. Yeesh. Sam and Max hit the road versus Day of the Tentacle, starting with Christian.
Honest to God, at this point, I almost voted for Day of the Tentacle over a Kirby game. I think I kind of got to just keep voting for it. Day of the Tentacle.
Graham.
I'm going to vote for. Taylor, is this the best Sam and Max game?
No, it is actually the worst one.
Same thing Christian did.
Then I'm going to vote for Day of the Tentacle.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. I take that back. The worst Sam and Max game is the weird VR one, but that's not a point-and-click game. But, like, as far as point-and-click Sam and Max goes, yes, I think that the entire Telltale trilogy is better.
Okay. Taylor, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Or not up to you, but it's your vote.
Yeah, I mean, no, like, Sam and Max, better franchise. Day of the Tentacle, better game. Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah. Mick.
What's the score?
3-0 Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, God.
Day of the Tentacle. Fuck it.
And Clanky.
Day of the Tentacle.
I feel bad
Okay.
Sam and Max didn't get one vote. I do want to
They
stress
did.
that,
They
like,
went
Sam and
really
Max
far
Hit the
though.
Road is still a delightful time. Like, there is no bad Sam and Max game. It just, like...
Look, I don't want to hear anyone shitting on Sam and Max. It beat Ninja Baseball, Batman, and Gunstar Heroes. It did great.
Yeah, again, we're still living in the bizarro world where Kristen likes point-and-click adventures. I'd kind of like to live here a little longer.
Yeah.
It's a bubble of time.
Tomorrow he's going to wake up and he's be like, geez, did I really promise, like, I'd play all these point-and-click games? I was so drunk.
Who said I'd play them?
You did!
No, I'm kidding. Okay. We like that funny.
Okay,
I
so we
thought
go
you were
to
serious.
We like that funny.
Goof Troop versus the Seventh Guest. We start with Christian.
Okay, it goes no further than this. I have to vote for the Seventh Guest.
Okay. Graham.
Really, I mean, there could be a 7th guest here tonight. We want to know.
That would have been an amazing bit.
There really are. There are only 6 of us.
That would have been such a good bit.
I mean, Kyle is
What if
dead.
the 7th guest was
so-
Goofy?
What if the 7th guest was the Swedish chef? The 7th guest.
I think what sucks about this is that nobody who's watching this knows why you guys are doing this joke.
Who cares?
Do we have to explain it now?
No.
Fuck it.
No.
Listen,
It's fun.
I've gotten obsessed. I've been chef posting in other servers, alright?
That was the funniest thing. Okay, we're gonna further.
Playing my D&D game, and I'm going, alright, we got
It's the funniest thing. Taylor.
Taylor.
Clanky, Nick,
Yes.
go down this goofy troop with me.
Nick.
Thanks, Mick.
And Clanky.
Look, 7th cast beat Angband, alright? I need to see it do well.
Yes, you need a spite vote. I understand.
That's not a spite. No, the spite vote would be to vote against 7th guest.
This is true. This is true. This is an avenging vote.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
the
up for-
logic for when it's avenging and when it's spiting changes each bracket. I don't care. Look, I've never played Goof Troop. I just would like to see it go further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm voting for the 7th guest.
Okay, well,
Oh, fuck. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah,
guess I'm
nice one.
playing Goof Troop single player, Jordan.
Oh, but I want to play with you.
It's just called Goof.
All right. Ultima Underworld 2 Labyrinth of Worlds versus Clayfighter. Starting still with Christian.
I am
Fight to see who
I-
gets to face off against Doom.
I'm scared that if I make my vote right now, that Mick will stab me. So I'm gonna just think about it for a little while.
All right. So then Graham.
Ultima Underworld.
Taylor.
Oh, gosh.
No.
You know what? I'm going to ask both sides for a little more info. Clanky, Mick, tell me why I should vote for your game.
Well, Clayfighter is novelty in how it was created. All the characters, like were at clay models. The character named the Blob had to use over 70. That's how committed they were to the bit of making all the characters out of clay. And despite the fact that the game itself might be a little mediocre, it is a great beginner's fighting game because the characters have so few moves and so little combos to learn that, like, for a veteran fighting game person, that might be a little boring, but for like a beginner, it could be a great way to get themselves introduced to the fighting genre.
Ultima Underworld is a super expansive game that lets you it's non-linear, letting you tackle problems from literally any angle you can. And I know how much you like choices. Well, this game gives you a bunch of them, and it gives you, you can approach the game, and you don't really get punished for it, and there's no really like optimal paths.
To be fair, Clayfighter has choices too.
Yeah, do I play as Icky Bod Clay, or do I play as Bad Mr. Frosty?
One of my favorite things in Clayfighter, sorry, I need to say it because of Icky Bod
Okay.
Clay. When you like start a match, like the announcer goes, "This is gonna be a great one, folks," and then he says like the name of the two characters, and when he says Icky Bod Clay, he goes, "Icky Bod Clay."
Yeah, I can't compete with that. The Ultima Underworld doesn't have any voice acting, so I don't have any funny things to mention either. In comparison to that, but it has Doorstag. It's got names like Doorstag.
It is a dope name. Doorstag
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, there are rats in the game.
I'm gonna leave this vote down to genre. I like dungeon crawlers more than I like fighting games. I'm gonna go Ultima.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Clanky.
No, it's
Clanky,
okay.
you did almost get me because you're like it's beginner, so it's easier to play. That did almost get me, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, Ultima is this experience that I can complete, you know. And Clayfighter's probably just a fun thing that I would do with a friend for a little bit, and like then we'll be like, all right, we've had our fun. Want to play Smash?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. In which case, yeah. So I'm voting for Ultima Underworld, even though it does have. I mentioned modding the game to adjust the controls. Base game S moves forward. So like W is to run forward, S is to walk forward, X is to walk backwards. It's an interesting decision. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still voting for Ultima Underworld though.
And that means I will take great pleasure in giving Clayfighter the 3.
Wait,
oh wait, I skipped your.
I didn't get to vote for Clayfighter.
I took your moment. I'm sorry.
You're right. Yeah, out of spite, you should vote for Ultima Underworld, Clanky.
That would be funny, but my heart would break if I betrayed Clayfighter like that. And it's
Okay, it's Clay.
Your
It can
heart
be
would
attached.
your heart would break, fighter.
Clanky, I want you to take this in a fully endearing way that I was so excited to vote for Clayfighter that I skipped your vote. So
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
fair
how.
Can I do that when I'm so excited that I can skip Christian's vote?
You can do it once.
I feel like Yearly's outcomes would end up a lot better if I could do that.
Now that I did that, one person can do it to me one time, but once one person doesn't, no one else can ever do it again.
Okay. All right.
I don't understand the logic behind any of your rules.
That's why I deleted all of them.
Okay. Doom versus Super Bomberman.
Like it's like drawing the chance card. The Yearly's has like its own dedicated chance card section. You
Sure.
voted over someone's pick. Please reserve yourself to be crossed over one time.
Go to jail. Do not pass.
Directly to jail. Do not pass.
You
Do
picked
not
a
pass $200.
1999 game in the year 1993. Please go fucking Graham, man, every time something Graham related.
All right.
You
Doom
drew the
versus-
mixed spite vote.
No, that's community chess card, and you know it.
So when are we making a Yearly's like card game where you have to
I
get
mean-
your votes to the thing?
Now we kind of. I actually
The
love
Monopolies.
this idea. I actually want to make a Yearly's Monopoly board now. So like this started out as a joke. Now I genuinely want one.
I think the most disturbing
need
thing
to.
is that it would be very easy to make a Yearly's Monopoly board.
Yeah.
Just like a Wario, like you buy steak and WarioWare.
No, Boardwalk and Park Place is WarioWare DIY in Alan Wake. It has to
Yes.
be.
God.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Okay.
enough self-flagellation.
versus-
What are the
Um,
railroads?
Oh my.
I do not think there's going to be a single round on any of the 90s brackets that is going to be more emblematic of me. Doom is a fucking incredible anomaly of a video game that is somehow still more fun than most modern games that I have played in the past long while, despite the fact that this is more than like 30 years old.
It's not really an anomaly. It's at the end. I mean,
I played a lot of 90s games over the past time that we started this shit, and somehow Doom is the first game that we played for the 90s that actually got into my top 100. I'm voting for Super Bomberman because nobody else is going to.
Well, let's find out if nobody else is going to. Graham.
Well, Christian, I guess you could say Super Bomberman is doomed.
He is, dude.
Taylor.
I really want to vote for Super Bomberman just to prove Christian wrong.
Dude, that would be so funny.
I really do.
I mean, I can't lose in this situation, so the humor is
But-
slightly diminished.
But Doom is better, and Christian knows Doom is better. So
I mean, yeah, Doom is my number one pick. Super Bomberman is my number third. No, second.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think it was third. I don't remember. Whatever.
Mick.
Doom.
And Clanky.
Doom.
4-1.
All right.
Okay. Clayfighter versus the seventh guest.
Clay.
The voting order has shifted. It is now Graham's turn.
You're a guest in someone's house. You gotta vote for it. So seventh guest.
This is true.
Perfect.
why did you make the duck squeeze first?
I didn't do that.
Oh,
Was
I
it
had
the
to make sure
seventh
there was
guest?
no else.
Whoever
Very cool.
up and raise your hand.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu 3.
Nosferatu 7. That means Taylor.
I'll give it to Clayfighter for you, Clanky.
Okay. Mick.
Come back to me.
Clanky.
I'm voting for Clayfighter.
Christian.
I'm also gonna vote for Clayfighter.
And it's back to you, Mick.
I'll go to the seventh guest.
3-2 Clayfighter.
Clayfighter sweep.
Clayfighter's in the final four, people.
Clayfighter.
I can't believe it.
Me either. Super Bomberman.
Everyone got a pick up high this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's because like 4 of us put Doom.
Yeah, but
Super
there's if
Bomberman.
we count
Sorry.
the other 5.
If Doom and 1 Mick game got up,
If Super Bomberman is Christian's, Day of the Tentacle is mine, Seventh Guest is Graham's, Ultima is Mick's, and Clayfighter is Clanky's, then
You mean semifinals and lose round 4? Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair.
Even
sorry.
I'm kind of happy with how my wild card did. So
I'd like to believe top 6 is pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Super Bomberman versus Day of the Tentacle.
By the way, I feel so terrible. Every time I make these kind of analyses, I always omit Jordan because he's not voting, and it makes me sound like I'm not acknowledging him.
No, you're good. I'm happy with how I did.
Good. Or Goof, if you will.
Yours. Or Graham's turn.
I'm gonna vote for Super Bomberman.
Taylor.
There are other Bomberman games I would rather play than this one, and there's only one Day of the Tentacle.
Right on. Nick.
My mind keeps humming "Day of the Tentacle" to the tune of "Kidnap the Santa Claus" from.
Oh my god!
No. Anyway, so yeah, "Day of the Tentacle." I think I've voted against the Super Bomberman every single time. I'm just not a Bomberman guy, I think.
Oh, you're gonna hate the next couple years.
Listen, there's a lot of point-and-click adventure games, so you know what? This will be tit for tat, Christian.
This is Christian's Ace Combat.
Mick, we know how it feels. We're Sonic fans. We know how it feels.
We're Sonic guys.
Fine.
Of course we know how it feels.
We're Sonic guys. Of course we lose in the Yearlies.
Who hates the thing that they're a fan of more? Weezer fans or Sonic fans?
Clanky.
Oof.
I love that Sonic song. Vandalize, right?
I love that that's essentially become like a fucking sitcom transition riff.
Yeah, I love the part in Buddy Holly where he goes, "Fuck the pain away, my life is ruined."
This is a tough
Oh,
one.
that was in Pinkerton.
Can you actually come back to me?
Yeah, Christian.
Did you really think it mattered, Clanky?
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Why'd you just vote now? Because you know what I'm gonna vote for.
Oh man, okay. I think the thing that's really getting me is what Taylor said. Like, there are better Bomberman games than Super Bomberman. So I have to take that into consideration because I think I said the same thing about Kirby's Adventure, like towards the beginning. So I think because of that, I'm gonna have to give it to Day of the Tentacle because it does at least
played someone.
It does seem pretty interesting, at least.
And here's the thing.
Someone.
Here's the thing. I will begrudgingly agree with both of you that yes, there are Bomberman games that I would rather play than Super Bomberman, which is why, just like 1991 Bomberman, I am going to let this one roll off my back. But this will be the last time that I think I will be able to take a loss like this gracefully.
Yeah. Hey guys, you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
What?
So, the final four, and I don't think this has happened before because I usually randomize the brackets. The final four are literally seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, wait, really? Holy shit.
Yeah. Ultima Underworld 2 is number 1, Dune is number 2, Clayfighter's number 4, and Day of the Tentacle is number 3.
Well, Ultima's
For what
number
it's worth,
1, so
seven-
it has to win.
The seventh guest was 5, for what it's worth.
And Super Bomberman was 14.
We did it, guys. The Yearlies can finally end.
He was just happy to be there.
Well, that's our show. So we do Clayfighter versus Day of the Tentacle, starting with Graham.
Taylor, very important question. Is it actually just one day? Wait, isn't it technically 3 days?
It's Day of the Tentacle. The game, you play the game over the course of a day.
But you go forward in time to a different day.
You
and
are in
back
different.
time to a different
You are
day.
in different eras, but each of the eras you are on one day.
You know, I like a game that lies to me. I'm voting for Day of the Tentacle.
Taylor.
You love 3D dinosaur adventure, so it's pretty in character.
Clanky, this is a friendly match. I shake your hand one way or the other. Won't be upset. Day of the Tentacle.
Mick.
Day of the Tentacle.
Clanky.
Yep, no, that's fair. And it's an admirable loss. I'm happy Clayfighter got so far.
And Christian.
I will also give it to Clayfighter.
Wow. Okay. Ultima Underworld 2 versus Doom. We
You
start
did
with
good,
Graham.
buddy. You did good.
I mean, Doom.
Perfect. You said everything you needed to say.
Yeah.
Taylor.
I have brought Doom to you all.
Mick.
Ultima Underworld 2.
Clanky.
Doom.
And Christian.
Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate.
Why are you doing this to us?
Because you're here and can't leave.
Ultima
Get to leave.
This is the Swedish chef. Stars in a home
Ultima.
invasion horror
To
movie.
be honest, I didn't think Nick would be able to hold himself to the proper balance of this joke. It takes a classy man to admit when he was wrong.
I'm glad.
Mick and Taylor are friends.
I can tell our friends. I
Yay.
thought you would overuse the shit out of this bit.
Tasteful.
Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds versus Day of the Tentacle. We start with Taylor.
I didn't think I'd get this far. Day of the Tentacle.
Mick.
Ultima Underworld.
Clanky.
Ultima Underworld.
Christian.
Skip me.
Graham.
Day of the Hentai.
Okay, never mind.
So
We can
close.
leave.
I knew it. I knew someone
We can
did that.
leave.
That's why I thought Day of the Tentacle wouldn't be so far. I'm like, how long? How long is it going to take for a tentacle porn joke to be made? And then everyone's going to be able to not associate this game properly.
Well, to our credit, it took us until losers round 6, so I think we did pretty good for ourselves. I don't think I don't think anyone involved with this would have ever expected such a level of maturity.
My only argument, Christian, is that if you let Ultima win, we're going to.
Sorry, I can't hear you over the giant, loud game show sound effects.
Sorry.
I was just gonna. If you let
Tied up
Ultima
for you,
win,
Chris.
we're just going to have a matchup we just did. That's my only.
Yeah.
thing.
I am gonna vote for the game that I'm more interested in playing because I haven't played either of these games. Just gonna go with Day of the Tentacle. I aim to be surprised by this point-and-click game of which, now that it has been described to me, I find myself awfully fascinated by.
It sounds super fun. Yeah. And so
Okay,
we have
I
You
was
get to
just gonna-
interview goblins.
I was gonna just show it to Nick and Jordan, but if anyone else wants to tag along on the playthrough, now that it's guaranteed a spot into one of the final brackets, there's a good excuse for everyone to take a look at it.
Yeah, I play best with point and clicks when I play them with more than multiple people. That's the best enjoyment I get out of them.
Okay. Final round. Doom versus Day of the Tentacle, starting with Taylor.
I mean, maybe with the exception of Gunstar Heroes, these are probably the best two things on the bracket. So even though the thing I like a little more probably won't win, I won't be upset. Day of the Tentacle.
Mick.
Come back.
Clank.
Doom.
Christian.
There are Bomberman games that I like more than Super Bomberman, but this is undoubtedly going to be the only Doom game that I will like the most. I'm going to play all the others, don't get me wrong. One might even get on. But this is Doom's only chance. And I mean, it doesn't need an advantage. There's a reason why people love this game. There's a reason why it's one of the most revered games ever made. And so if it wins, it would be very expected and somewhat anticlimactic, but at the same time, I'm voting for Doom because I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah. Graham.
I'm voting for Doom.
And
Ba-da-ba-da. Oh,
Doom.
all right. Nick, I'm going yet. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned the soundtrack once.
This game has one.
We all knew it would. This is the whatchamacallit? SpongeBob
Which is
SquarePants.
more than you can say for some of the games on here.
15 of them to be exact.
Tell me your favorite track from Angband.
It has no music. Don't worry, Jordan, I have a solution when you're editing this.
Tell me your favorite track from 3D Dinosaur Adventure.
Mick, you're telling me that Angband doesn't have music? The word band is right there in the title.
Yeah.
They weren't a very popular band.
They were going for a more subversive type experience, a more sensory in design, a more musicless.
If there's a rock and roll heaven, you know that got a hell of an Angband.
Angband.
This is definitely
Angband.
Writer of the Night Band.
This is definitely gonna go down in history as the Yearlies where Christian talked way too much. For sure.
Well, hey, we're all due.
Christian, I'm pretty sure I hold the top spot for every one of those.
This
So
one,
don't worry.
don't worry, this one closed the gap, but I'm gonna be cognizant. This one, but I just can't help myself. I like Doom a lot.
So thank you for watching this edition of the... Sorry, hang on.
Oh,
Okay.
you know what to do.
I know exactly what to do. I'm just going to do a serious end of the show. Thank you for watching the Yearlies. You can subscribe to our channel and get plenty of other videos from us. You can also like this. The channel's right there. Here's another video you might like. And to play us off,